Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Spann Report podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Spann. This is episode number 336 of the report. And tonight we are joined by the homie, Cook Simmons of the highly inappropriate podcast hosted by Cook Simmons. Say what's up to the people, fam.
Bim, 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 bim.
Get
What's up,
those.
y'all?
I need to get air horns, man. Real talk. I need to get some air horns, man. That be the shit. That be the
Yes.
shit.
Yes. I look, we be our own air horns out here.
Like low key, I thought about getting like a Rodecaster Pro, like just so I can get like the air horns and shit. Like I would go get this
Listen,
mixer and go get another mixer just so I can get the air horns.
absolutely. Listen, let me tell you, you get me drunk enough in the club, I am the air horn.
Indeed. So yeah, Cook is here with us. Surprise guest because I told y'all we was gonna have somebody, but I didn't tell y'all who, and it was the homie Cook, and I'm glad this sister can rock with us here tonight. We were just doing the highly inappropriate podcast last night, so we had a good time doing that, man. Just chopping it up like two friends, and I can't wait for her to put that out, so y'all can enjoy that conversation as well. But before we get into the whole shit, of course, I got to remind you guys how to get in touch with us over here at the Spann Report Podcast and let your voice be heard. You can go ahead and hit up the hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave those voicemail messages. Of course, those messages will get played here live on the show and responded to in kind. You can also email us here at feedback@thespannreport.com. That's feedback@thespannreport.com. Go ahead and send us those emails, and of course, those emails will get responded to here and replied to here live on the show, right? I mean, read here and replied to. Same thing, right? Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My name on both of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So you go ahead, follow me there, chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Also, hit up our website at www.thespannreport.com. You can go there, watch replays of all the shows that we do. Well, all the shows that we do live, right? So the Spann Report, and when we do another beer and chicken, because it's coming, y'all. I know. With Spann Report, beer and chicken, the Baywatch podcast, and at some point, maybe even the highly inappropriate podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because Cook is a part of the Spann Report Podcast Network family. You know what I'm saying? We need to go ahead and get Cook a chain. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and get that made up, man. We got to get some chains, man. Like, this is gonna be the new Death Row, goddamn. We gonna get some chains. But also,
Yes, it's now powerful niggatry at work here.
oh, hold on, I got that.
Oh, yeah. There is powerful niggardry at work here.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, man. Go to that website, man, and hit us up, man. Like voting the polls and stuff. When we put those polls up, you can donate to the show from the website. You can get some merchandise from the website, man. Go to our store, go to our TeePublic store directly from the website. Get yourself a T-shirt, get yourself a coffee mug, get yourself some like a face mask. Even we got some stuff in that store, man. We really appreciate everybody who patronizes us and supports us in that way. Also, hit us up with a 5-star review on iTunes and or Stitcher Radio. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We appreciate everybody who goes about the business of doing that. Doesn't cost you a dime, man. Just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Spann Report Podcast Network and all the Spann Report Podcast Network shows, man. Send us those 5-star reviews so we can shout y'all out, man. Don't cost y'all nothing. Man. You can put 5 on it without putting 5 on it. I mean, it's the best of both worlds, baby. You know, so go ahead and hook us up like that, man. But yo, that's we got the business out the way. Now, of course, like I said, we got the homie Cook here with us. First things first, sister, how you doing?
Oh man, I am here. It's Sunday evening. There is a lot of TV to be watched this evening, so I'm just trying to ease into my night, power up a little bit. I had a good sandwich. You know, we're gonna get some seafood popping in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna put, mix me some juice or whatever, like some nice juice, a good juice or whatever, because Mama loves juice.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna, ease into our night and just watch some TV. It's so much going on. It's Pose, The Nevers. I watched Mayor of Easttown, and then of course Tenet came out on HBO Max. I was like, I'm gonna sit down and watch that. I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
I'm mad that because I bought Tenet, right? So now I'm mad that the shit is.
Why? Listen. I haven't been to the movies in years, and honestly, I don't think I'm going back.
I'm going back to the movies.
It depends on what it is.
I am going back to the movies. So here's the thing: like the one thing that we lost during this pandemic was the whole movie going experience. I love going to the movies for the surround sound shit, like the IMAX shit, the like that whole thing, and like the movie theater popcorn and stuff. I can't go to the movie theater and not get the popcorn. It's just like, who goes to the movies and doesn't get the popcorn? Like, I don't. How was that even a thing? Like, I go. And I always get the charge knowing that I ain't even gonna eat all the popcorn. Like the damn bucket gonna end up underneath my seat by the time the movie is over with. But I gotta have the popcorn. I gotta get the biggest one because you never know, man. You know, and they gotta butter it down because who gets the popcorn without the butter? Like, it's a thing, man. Like, so the whole movie going experience, I miss that. I really do. So like, there's certain movies like, although like I bought Tenet. Here's the thing: I bought Tenet, and me and my wife we watched Tenet, and I fucking fell asleep on it. Because I was comfortable in my goddamn couch. My couch is where I like pass out all the time anyway. I can't do that. Like in the movie theaters, it's something different. It's something different at the movie theater. If I'm too comfortable at home, it's not going to be the same as if I was at the movie theater, checking this out.
So the AMCs down here have those big red leather chairs that recline. I'm going to sleep in a movie theater if I recline all the way.
I mean, we got some of those. We got the AMC joints that do that. We've got Cinemark theaters that do that. There's another movie theater chain here called Imagine that kind of Imagine used to have a VIP section. Like they used to have that shit, that shit roped off, man. Like I never forget this. So me and my wife, we were sitting in the VIP section at an Imagine theater, and the shit was roped off. And I never forget, I saw a dude I work with at the Imagine theater. He was there with his wife, but he didn't splurge for the VIP. And like I noticed and I'm like, oh shit, Ryan, what's going on, man? And he came up to speak or whatever, but then like the little bouncer dude was like,
not the usher, not the little usher nigga came in, ushered him away from the rope.
Going back down there, man.
Like move, peasant.
They was really on that shit at Imagine. I don't know if they still doing that, but it was a while ago. I was like, oh shit.
Listen, man. If it's anything like the club, you damn right I'm calling security. Anybody get close to my table, excuse me. We paid extra for these seats over here. Don't be coming over here. Don't stand too close to the VIP. Oh no.
I was chopping it up with my man. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to big time. I'm like, you made that thing. See, the usher made that more than it had to be. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you paid VIP prices, so you getting treated like a VIP.
I paid VIP prices, but I wasn't trying to do that to my man. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
I felt bad. I really did. I felt bad. I wasn't trying to do that. My man.
That was a humble brag. It wasn't you trying to even really flex on the young homie.
I wasn't.
When the flex happens,
we was at the movies. Like,
which was in VIP.
I was in VIP at the movies because they serve you there. Like, you ain't got to get up to go to concession.
The movies is already $99 and you pay for the VIP. Yes, own it. Lean into it. Own that shit. Yeah, I can afford this. Yes.
I work hard. I work hard.
You damn right. You damn right. We work hard for our money, so you see me balling out. Respect that. Listen, leave me in peace. True.
I feel bad for my man though, because we go back. You know what I'm saying?
You can make it up to him, but also too, that should be a lesson for him too. Next time you take your wife out to the movie theater, make sure she's seated properly.
There's that.
I mean, stop being cheap, nigga. I'm saying, stop being cheap as shit. We over 40. You got a bad back. You need to lean back in your seat. And no, you're not walking back and forth to concession. Come serve me. You damn right.
Yeah, that was the point of the whole VIP thing. I ain't know the whole bouncer thing was a thing.
Oh, no, step away. Step away. You're too close to the rope, sir. Do you have a wristband? Where's your wristband? You don't have a wristband? So I need you to step away from the rope, sir. Step away from the rope. You got too much dip on your chip. No. Next time, we are over 40, and they're just, listen, you choose not to do certain things after a while. Yeah. You choose to be cheap in this regard. Yeah. So, you could have splurged and, got your wife served her chicken wings and her curly fries and mozzarella sticks or whatever else she wanted to eat at the movie theater, but you wanted to be cheap.
But you know what, though? Like, see, that's the other part. Like, that's the other part of feeling bad about it, right? Because I know when he got, you on your way home. So, So you know him. He
You know
work the
him.
same place you work at.
He
And
in
while we sitting
VIP.
down here, he up there and we down here.
I
I
mean,
know you heard me.
that's the
I know
second
you
time
heard
we
me.
went out and we seen somebody in VIP. Because
Shout
I
out to
mean,
my
Rodney at
man.
the job told me he be going to VIP at the movie theaters all the time. So
Shout out
I
to my
mean,
man Rod, man. He a good dude.
I hope he not listening because he gonna feel some type of way. You cheating on me, bitch! He's like, let me stop. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me stop. Let me stop. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Because this is how we do all the time, anytime, right? So
Listen, I'm inappropriate. They know it.
every time we get together, it's like this. I don't think anybody who's heard Cook on the show before are surprised by anything we hear in the night. You know what I'm saying? So
Thank
that's
you.
what
Thank
it is.
you. Thank
So
you.
check this
Thank
out.
you.
I got a few random thoughts, man. Some things I have been thinking about over the course of the last week, man. You probably seen some of these random thoughts because I post them on social media throughout the week while I'm thinking about this shit, right? But for those of you who ain't following your boy on social media, maybe you didn't know this, maybe you didn't see this, you got time to chime in on the things that I've been thinking about over the course of the week. All right. Now, first random thought that I got from this week. First things first, man, we just got to get this out of the way because I think this is a national tragedy, right? And I need y'all to pray for your boy. I ain't had no Popeyes in about 3 months, and your man Spann, he ain't alright.
Bro, that is not okay.
I'm not alright. I'm not alright.
That is not okay.
This is the one thing that the pandemic has taken away from your boy. Now, and the reason why I say that is because, you know, I am a Popeyes like stan, right? I fucks with Popeyes heavy, man. Like I do. But like Popeyes customer service was already like shit. That's how good the chicken was. Like you were willing to put up with some bullshit customer service because the chicken was good. But the pandemic has exasperated the terrible service.
Listen, customer service is horrible. Sorry, excuse me.
Terrible. It is fucking terrible. So the last time I thought I was about to go get me some Popeyes, here's what happened. I'm in the drive-thru, and it's a line. So you know it's Popeyes. You always gonna see a line at the drive-thru at the Popeyes because you had a whole lot of hype beasts jumping in those lines who wasn't really fucking with the Popeyes before. But then those chicken sandwiches hit the social media, and everybody had to come see what the chicken sandwiches was like, right? Never mind the people who fuck with y'all who get the 4-piece, you know, 4-piece with the red beans and rice and the Cajun rice. They got rid of the fucking Cajun rice. I don't know what the fuck they put on that shit. But I'm in the drive-thru for 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Get to the window. I mean, not even the window. Get to the speaker. And I'm sitting at the speaker for another 15 minutes. Now, I know y'all saying, yo, Spann, why in the fuck is you sitting at the speaker for 15 minutes? Nigga, your boy was trapped, right? I was trapped. Like, so the drive-through lane is really narrow. It was niggas in front of me. It was niggas in back of me. I couldn't go nowhere. I was there, right? Get all the way to the fucking speaker only for them to tell me that, nigga, we only taking cash now.
Only taking cash?
They only taking cash. Now you talking to a nigga that don't really carry cash no more. Very seldom you find your man Spann carrying cash, mostly for security reasons, right? Because if you got cash on you, lose that shit is gone. You know what I'm saying? But if the bank got it, your shit is FDIC insured. So I keep that shit in the bank. I don't walk around with a lot of money. I don't even walk around. I might at most, if you find your man Spann with some cash, I might have my last $2 only in like tribute to my granddaddy because that was one of his songs and shit, right? I don't walk around with cash on me. They told me that, and I had to like try to figure out a way to get the fuck out of line. I ain't get my Popeyes. That was 2.5 months ago. It's been over 3 months since your man Spann and had Popeyes, man. And I'm gonna need them to open up the lobbies. I know they only have like 2 people in the restaurant working now. That's probably why the lines be so long and the lines be so like and the waits be so long. They only got like 2 or 3 motherfuckers in there working.
And you know what? I mean, listen. I there's no winners in this. Nobody wins when family feuds. Okay? Nobody wins.
Yeah.
Because them workers probably tired of y'all niggas.
They probably tired.
They probably pandemic tired, okay?
Just to believe me, listen, I am an advocate for the fast food worker. I respect the amount of bullshit they have to put up with. Your man Spann, y'all got a friend in me. You know what I'm saying? But man, like the Popeyes though, like come on, man, y'all got to do better, man. We got to do better. We got to do better, man. And as a result, I didn't have to like try to figure out other places that got decent chicken, and it don't always like hit the way you hit, man. When you want Popeyes and you can't get it, it don't hit the same, man. It don't hit the same.
Popeyes, there's something about that dirty rice
That they don't even serve no more. They don't even
I
have it.
know. And you gotta go. Probably gotta go to New Orleans to get it.
See,
because I know they didn't take it off the menu down there. I know they didn't take it off the menu down there.
so the pandemic then kind of took New Orleans from your nigga too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been to New Orleans in 2 years, and it's a thing for your boy. I can't wait to go back. I'm going this year. Fuck that. Fuck that.
You vaccinated?
I'm fully vaccinated. I'm going this year.
Awesome. I'm not giving out my status, but listen, I'm ready to do things. I tell you what.
I'm going. I gotta go. It's the thing, man. It's like, you got any more of that New Orleans, baby? That's how your man Spann feel, man. Real talk. But that's one of the things, man. I ain't had Popeyes in like 3 months, man. Your man Spann ain't all right.
You know what? Fast food and eating out has not been good to me in the pandemic. Pizza has been good to me in the pandemic. But everything else, like pizza and Chinese food, really, because like, I hate to say it, I don't even believe Chinese food is real. I don't know what it is, but like,
you gotta find a good spot. You gotta find a good spot with the Chinese food. Like we
have some suitable spots. I just don't think. I think to keep up with the production and demand, their product is. I think someone cut corners somewhere. But I'm not gonna go into that. I'm not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna do all that right now.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is, because I swear after I eat it, I'm still hungry. So I was like, it's like a molecule less than. It's like that lettuce. It's like a molecule less than iceberg. Like the difference between margarine and plastic is 3 molecules. The difference between the lettuce that they're serving you in your however you take it or whatever, your Singapore noodles, whatever you eat in, it's like 3 molecules away from iceberg. But I'm gonna leave it right there because I don't want to be too deep on niggas right now. You know, I want to ease y'all into it or whatever. Ease you into it. But I say all that to say though, I'm just not feeling eating out anymore. I feel like some of the quality of the food is not the same. And it isn't even about the service, honestly. It's about the quality of the food. And I find that it doesn't taste as good. Some of it to me tastes a little salty. I don't know what it is, but it just tastes salty.
It just might. They might be a little bit heavy-handed with the shit, man. You know, they got different or better yet, they're not training people the right way. You know, a lot of these places are talking about they can't find like enough people to come back to work and shit. We're gonna talk about that later on in the show. But a lot of these places are saying they can't find enough people to come back to work, and you know, training might not necessarily be up to snuff. You know, but that's one of the things I was thinking about. Now, I had another random thought. And this is actually kind of funny, man. This is how your man Spann knew he was like peak uncle status and shit, right? So I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 in June. And I found myself in a discussion with my coworkers that I never thought I would find myself in. We was arguing about some shit that I just knew. Like after we left this conversation, like, man, had to be like the most middle-aged ass shit I've ever experienced in my life. You've reached middle age when you find yourself arguing with your coworkers over who makes the best windshield wiper blades, man. Windshield wiper blades.
That's right.
We was arguing over windshield wiper blades, man. That's old nigga shit, man. That's like, yo, man. That's like arguing like over like the best way to get through traffic and shit. Like, you know how niggas like, yeah. So you gotta take 96, right? You take 96. And when you take 96, you gotta make that left over there on Schaefer. And when you get there over on Schaefer, you gotta make that right. When you make that right, man, you got clean sailing right there, man. Ain't no lights over there. Man. You get right there, man. It take you 10 minutes to get there. And then the other dude be like, nah, man, no. You gotta take 696. And then when you take 696, and it was like that with the windshield wiper blades. And like I'm a Rain X dude, you know what I'm saying? I like the Rain X wiper blades only because the Rain X wiper blades apply the Rain X shit to your windshields. You know what I'm saying? So the water beads up and like kind of like rolls off your windshield and shit. And you got other dudes who are like, nah, man. See, you gotta account for the type of rubber that they use. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that does make a difference.
Yeah, like you gotta account for the rubber they using. Like, so I use Bosch. I'm a Bosch nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You talking about rubber, nigga? Man, Goodyear make the best motherfucking windshield wiper blades, nigga. If you gonna get rubber, if you talking about the rubber,
I mean, so listen, I feel like because I need windshield wiper blades, I feel like investing in it is important. Because like with me, Pirelli is my brand. Whatever.
See, I didn't even know Pirelli made.
No, I'm talking about tires. I'm talking about my tires. Pirelli is my brand. I fuck with the Pirelli.
I had the Pirellis on the G8. They was my shit.
Listen, Pirellis get you where you're going. So if I'm a stickler for Pirellis,
like a motherfucker, boy, I swear to God.
And I also get my hazard insurance, and I get them rotated and stuff. I fucks with the tires. You gotta do it. But with these windshield wiper blades, like I feel like I'm gonna really invest in a good sturdy pair this time when I go take my car into the shop. I'm gonna actually get my cabin filters changed. I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna get my oil changed, I'm gonna get my tires rotated, and I'm gonna get my windshield wipers. And I'm gonna get me some good windshield, like a good sturdy like set of windshield wipers.
Yeah,
I am.
Windshield wiper blades, man. Like I didn't realize like how important them motherfuckers was. Like
till you need them.
Like my shit. Like I had the factory windshield wiper blades on my Telluride since I had the damn car. And I looked up at the fucking windshield wiper blades at a certain point. Them bitches was like shredded damn near. They wasn't wiping worth a damn. I'm like, man, let me stop.
Listen, mine's slipping off and everything. I got that little rubber strip that flap when they went
let me go get some blades right now, cause this ain't pimping, man. This ain't what you do, Spann. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is wrong, bro. You can't be out here like, but I can't drive my car because it's raining outside and I can't see shit. Like, no,
listen, be about to crash and shit.
And it was weird because I just just mentioned that I went and got the blades. Like, so how much you pay for those Rain-X blades? And that's how the whole thing became a thing. Like, man, you paid how much for what now? Again, middle-aged ass shit, man. But that's it. That was one of them random things, man. Now, another random thought that I kind of had, and this actually has something to do with the news. So I saw that the FDA is talking about banning menthol cigarettes. Okay, I saw this on the news. They were talking about banning menthol cigarettes. And my thing is this: how in the hell are we supposed to know who the good hood mechanics are if they ain't got no goddamn menthol cigarettes hanging off their fucking lips? Like how we supposed to know? Like,
as a Newport smoker and occasional flavor cigar user, occasionally. I mean, because the flavor cigars going away, ain't even really tripping off that. I done switched to Raw brand. Everybody should have made the switch by now. Real smokers know what I'm talking about. But as far as the menthol, I decided I'm going to go ahead and quit. I'm going to go ahead and just quit. I quit. I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and quit. Since they about to ban that shit, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna get the patch. So the new look, you're gonna have to look for a nigga with his sleeve rolled up, like a greaser. And he's gonna have his patch on that sucker. You know how like back in the day they used to roll your cigarette packs up in your sleeve and shit, and you were a greaser man? That's what you're gonna see. That's gonna be the look. That's how you gonna know I'm gonna have my sleeve rolled up, and I'm gonna have my lighter rolled up in my sleeve, you know, because real ones, we carry our lighters always anyway, and I'm gonna have my patch on.
Yeah, you
got a patch on.
Y'all gotta figure it out, man, because like, yo, listen, like, it was always good in the hood when you went to the hood mechanic and he rolled up, and no matter what the fuck was wrong with your car, the nigga always told you it was the timing belt, right? Like, Oh, boy, that ain't no but the timing belt. Let me go ahead, go to Lowe's. I'm sorry, not Lowe's. O'Reilly's. Go to O'Reilly's. They used to call it MERS. Go to Murray's / O'Reilly's. Go up there, get your timing belt. I put that motherfucker on for you, $25. Come on back here. Just leave the car here. Like, so how am I gonna go on up there, boy? I'm telling you what you need to go get. Go and get your timing belt. I put the motherfucker on for you, $25. And he always had that cigarette hanging off his lip and shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they ain't nothing, bud. Ain't alternator. Alternator, you know, you could just change the alternator. We be all right. You know what I'm saying? Get you a fuse. Get you a 25 amp fuse, and then we'll jerk that motherfucker from the fuse, and we'll be all right. You be like, damn, nigga, that's all it need. Like, yeah, that's all it need. And you, lo and behold, nigga, $25. You was riding for about a good week and a half until you had to bring that motherfucker back to him.
Yep.
Before you had to bring it back to him, but like, yo, they banned the damn menthol cigarettes. And check it out, man. So like, my grandmother, God rest her soul, she used to smoke menthol cigarettes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this, I'm talking about my father's mom, and like, I'll never forget this, man. Like, so my grandma, you know, she used to smoke quite a bit, and she used to talk like this. Mm-hmm. Come here, baby, give your granny a kiss, baby. He'd just be like, oh shit, granny, like, come on, baby, don't you know you don't love your granny? Come on, don't treat granny like that. Like, maybe we get rid of that. Maybe we get rid of that, you know. Like, yo, shout out to Granny, man. I love you. Rest in peace. But still, like, Granny used to talk like, I used to be scared of my grandma, like, real talk. Just because she talked like that. She was smoking all the time with them damn menthol cigarettes. Cool Miles. Cool Miles. How many of us had to go to the cigarettes, go get some Cool Miles for our parents and shit? You know, I'm dating myself now, but like, yo, they used to let us go buy cigarettes and be like 7 years old, go to the store, like, I'm buying these cigarettes for my mama.
Go all the way to the store, get a pack of Newports, a Snickers, and a Pepsi.
But Cool Miles or better yet, I used to ask this question, like, what was the difference between like Cool Miles in the box and in the soft pack? You know what I'm saying? Like, like what was the difference between all that shit? I didn't know because I was never a smoker. But yo, man, they are deciding they're gonna decide. Well, they decided they're gonna possibly ban menthol cigarettes and all that other shit. Those are the things I was thinking about. But it's time for us to get into the news, y'all. All right. Now, our first story that we got here in the news, we've been talking about this here on the show for quite a bit. But so Amazon, right? Amazon been in the news quite a bit because they have been trying to beat back unionization of their workers and shit, right? So apparently Amazon has decided that they are going to increase the pay of over 500,000 workers because of those goddamn union battles.
Well, that'll be a monkey's bare-assed uncle.
Yeah. So we get the story. This comes out of Engadget.com. It says that Amazon has announced a pay raise of up to $3 an hour for logistics workers amid heightened scrutiny of its controversial labor practices. The retailer has brought forward a pay review as it looks to recruit hundreds of thousands of frontline employees across its U.S. operations, according to Darcy Henry, Amazon's vice president. More than 500,000 workers will see an increase of between 50 cents and $3 an hour. Henry said in a statement, on top of the $15 an hour starting wage they already receive. Amazon raises follow a period of bruising criticism of the company's work practices during the pandemic, including its productivity quotas from activists and officials alike. The anger was encapsulated by the unionization drive at an Amazon fulfillment center in Bessemer, Alabama. Of course, they decided not to ratify a union down there. Earlier this month, 2/3 of workers at the warehouse voted not to join the retail, wholesale, and department store union, but the outcome was subsequently challenged amid accusations that Amazon unlawfully intimidated employees. The union responded by filing 23 objections to the National Labor Relations Board, with regulators now set to hold a May 7th hearing to review the complaints, according to Reuters. So, real talk, I'm going to just say this right off the bat. Amazon doesn't do this without that unionization scrutiny. They don't do it. And this is one of the things about like unionization. I'm a union member. I don't. Are you unionized, Cook?
Yes.
Right. So, like, real talk. Yes. Because like real talk, a lot of folk, man, when we start talking about like the creation of the middle class, a lot of that is because of the collective bargaining that unions brought to this nation, man. Your 40-hour your 40-hour week work week was brought to you by unions. You know what I'm saying? Like your vacation time is brought to you by unions. The reason why you have, employee provided healthcare by and large is because unions fought for that. And so now you have other places that may not necessarily have unions, but this has become the standard modus operandi for a lot of companies because unions fought for that, and it's just become what people tend to expect when they get these sorts of positions. And so, they would say that they don't necessarily need a union to do these things, but had they not had the scrutiny of the union or the possibility of a union coming into their establishment, they wouldn't have just offered this shit out of the kindness of their fucking heart, man. They just wouldn't have, and we know that.
Yep.
So,
listen, you owe a lot to your local union.
Even those of you who are not a part of a union, that's the thing. Even those of you who are not a part of a union, a lot of the things that you have are because unions have fought those battles before, you got those positions and shit. So that's in the news, man. Amazon talking about increasing the pay from 15. Well, some getting 50-cent raises and some are getting $3 raises, or up in between 50 cents and $3, depending, I guess, upon what type of position you have within the company. But it'll be interesting to see like how widespread those $3 raises reaches everybody, though. It'll be interesting to see that. So that's in the news. Another thing that we got here in the news is Ahmaud Arbery. We all remember what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. Those 3 white dudes, non-fucking law enforcement, decided to like execute that dude while he was out on the run. Well, apparently the United States Justice Department, and shout out to competency, but the United States Justice Department has decided they were going to charge those 3 men with hate crimes.
Good.
Got him! Got him!
Yeah. We get
the federal shit, too.
Yeah. Federal hate crimes. We get the story here out of Slate.com. It says the 3 white men responsible for the killing of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery while jogging in broad daylight were charged Wednesday with federal hate crimes, the Department of Justice announced. A federal grand jury indicted each of the 3 men, Gregory McMichael, 65, his son Travis McMichael, 35, and William Roddy Bryan, 51, with 1 count of attempted kidnapping and 1 count of interference with rights, alleging that the men used force and the threat of force to intimidate Arbery, who was black, from jogging on a public street because of Arbery's race. All 3 men were awaiting trial for state murder charges after they confronted and then shot and killed Arbery in February 2020. Arbery was jogging in the Centilla Shores neighborhood of Brunswick, Georgia, when the McMichaels armed themselves and began following him in their pickup truck. The pair tried to intercept Arbery, blocking the truck. Travis McMichael got out of the truck and got in an altercation with Arbery, who was then shot and killed. Prosecutors said Travis McMichael used, carried, and brandished and discharged a Remington shotgun during the scuffle, that his father used, carried, and brandished a .357 Magnum revolver. Roddy Bryan, the other man charged with the hate crime, trailed behind the father and son duo and filmed the encounter from his truck. Now, here's the thing, right? The interesting thing about this is that Roddy Bryan, the only reason we really even know what the hell is going on or what happened to Ahmaud Arbery was because this dude filmed it.
Right.
I doubt very seriously that he thought that his filming of this event would have resulted in him getting federal hate crime charges leveled upon him. I don't think
never in a million years.
I don't think he thought about that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, I was just observing, Your Honor. I was just seeing what the fuck was going on. And yet,
here we are.
Hey.
Here we are. And honestly, I don't feel sorry for them. I hope it's hell for them in there.
I don't feel sorry for them either. I mean, because the other part about it is that, like,
I hope they get paper cuts on their booty hole.
Not paper cuts. Hey, cut off their eyelids and keep taking their picture with the flash off.
Feed them nothing but sleeping pills.
Keep stabbing them in the kneecaps with ice picks and shit. Like, pull off all their goddamn toenails and fingernails and shit with some ice.
Dump salt on that shit. All of that.
We are sadistic, man. We need help.
Or we're fed up with white supremacy and
There's
white supremacists.
that too,
And yeah, we're just fed up. Okay, because the thing is, as niggas, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do this shit.
We're not. These are
We
just
ain't gonna do this shit.
These are just.
I mean, these are things we would like to see happen, but it ain't gonna happen. And we ain't gonna do the shit.
Merely suggestions. So that's in the news.
Don't write back. They shouldn't have killed that boy. Sorry.
Now this is something that we were talking about, especially considering we were talking about training and we were talking about the very poor customer service that we get at Popeyes now.
The Popeyes organization.
The Popeyes organization. Damn it, dog! Turning me to Ben Carson, man. I just need to turn it into Ben Carson.
I was trapped in a drive-thru in a Popeyes organization, and I was forced to wait and to get to the middle. When I get to the front of the window, and they tell me that they're out.
I was trapped
of red beans and rice.
Man.
That they have biscuits and no honey. Ah!
I know, right?
I
know, right?
Shout out to Akeem and his biscuit slander. Popeye's biscuit
I don't really eat the biscuits.
What?
I don't eat the biscuits.
You don't eat the biscuits at Popeyes?
No.
What type of nigga are you? Are you okay?
I'm so fine. I am.
What? Are you sure?
I'm just not real big on bread.
Bro, I eat the Popeyes biscuits. I've got to slather it in honey.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm
not against it, but by the time I get finished eating all the chicken out and ordered, I ain't got room for the bread. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got room for the bread by the time I get finished with all the chicken. Like I ordered 2 breasts by myself, man. I ordered 2 breasts and what else I be getting? Like I get 2 breasts, or I get 6 fucking strips or something like that. And then I get before they got rid of the Cajun rice, I would get the Cajun rice and the red beans and rice, and I would use the red beans and rice as a dip. Before I that's some fat shit, man. I would use the red beans and rice
as a dip. Excuse me.
But that's how I get down, So by the time the biscuits, your man Spann is full, okay? Your man Spann is full. So it's not that I wouldn't fuck with the biscuits if the biscuits is all they had. It's just that by the time I get finished with the chicken, I ain't got room for the biscuit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But
gone.
And they really just be like, yo, you don't want no dips for your strips? I'm like, nah, I'm cool, man. That's what the red beans and rice is for. But think about it. That's how, when they give you the little po' boy shit. Half the time if you the little red beans and rice. Anyway. Here in Michigan, right? There's this bar owner. We were talking about people who they don't have enough staff and shit. So here in Michigan there was this bar owner who was talking about he can't find enough workers to staff his new restaurant because unemployment here in Michigan is way too goddamn generous. As a matter of fact, there's a whole video attached to this. So let me pull this video up.
Sorry.
Let me pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Hold on just a second while I pull this up. And let's see what he's talking about. Because he mad. He just opened this restaurant too. He can't get nobody to work for him. All right, so yeah, that's up there. Let me go ahead and play the video and we're going to see what he's talking about.
It's amazing to see that people just don't want to go back to work.
Opening a restaurant this month, days after Governor Whitmer suggested carry out instead of dining in, is tough enough. For restaurateur Darren Lee, he just learned something else is even harder.
For the last 2 months, I've been looking for and trying to find people, and everybody's content with their unemployment. They're content with the money they're being paid to stay home and not work. They're content with having a little bit of an easier life, and I can't say that I blame them. I'm just not built that way.
Darren is the owner of Hopscotch and Bourbon in Roseville. He assembled just enough people to open, even trying to sweeten the deal, knowing he just doesn't have enough employees.
I put out basic signing bonus, and there's many businesses that do it, and it was not an awful lot. It was $400, but I didn't even get a phone call. It was crickets.
Not one inquiry after putting it out to the masses on social media.
I don't quite understand it. I really don't. I'm sure you can make more money by going out and earning a living.
He says they're doing it all right to keep COVID safe for customers and employees. 40 years in this business, it looks a lot different now. Darren hopes his enthusiasm entices people to come work for him.
I haven't been able to smile at people for over a year. I wear a mask more than I don't wear a mask, but I still enjoy what I do.
They have 9 employees now, but that just will not cut it. If you're looking for a job, all you have to do is call or show up to apply. In Roseville, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
All right. So
I don't feel sorry for that man. I do not feel sorry for him. He's like, "Oh, I'm just built different, bruh."
yeah,
You're not.
the move.
No.
That wasn't the move. That wasn't the move. And so, like, my thing is this, man. First things first. The people who talk about, like them not being able to find people to come back to work, if you can make more money sitting at home, why in the fuck would you decide to, for one, come back for less money, and also subject yourself to people who don't even want to follow the fucking COVID rules, and also don't even want to tip because they're in a restaurant. That's a restaurant. You're in the service industry by and large. So like now you're dealing with people who don't want to follow the rules, who generally don't even like see you as a fucking person because you're working in the service industry. So now you got to work extra hard for less money. And also with the restrictions as far as like, the capacities that have to be in the restaurants, because of the COVID restrictions and everything. Like, so you don't even have the ability to make full wages. Even if you were like a great bartender or a great waitress or waiter, that you don't have the ability to make what you're making just by staying at home because of the limitations of what's going on with how many people can actually be in an establishment like that with the COVID restrictions. So like, it's weird to like kind of listen to these people act as though it's a bad thing for people to be like, man, why the fuck would I come there and make less money and like endanger myself and endanger my health to come work for you? Like, why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? And so like he's talking like, yo, well, I'm not built that way. Like, also you the guy who's looking for people to come work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not entitled. That's the other part about this. You are not entitled to people coming to work for you, especially when they make more where they are right now, which is at home. Like, come on, man. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. And like, here's the other part about this is like kind of like bothers me. Is that like not even the restaurant owners, like the restaurateurs or whatever, like that own these places who are complaining about this shit. But you got people who just like maybe have just a little bit more means who also complain about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Who also are just like, yo, man, these motherfuckers sit there at home, man, collecting unemployment. Meanwhile, my ass out here working and shit, nigga. This some bullshit, nigga. They need to come back and get it. Like, why do you care? Like, why do you care, like, how much, like, unemployment these folks are getting or whether or not they get a stimulus check and you didn't? Like, why do you care? They're not asking you for the money, right? They're not asking you to help them for a bill, right? Now, that's the only thing that's the only time I would have problems with somebody is if they're asking me to help them pay some shit. But if they're asking me to help them pay some shit and I know that they're getting this money, I'm like, well, shit, like, all right, I mean, cool, shit, they chilling, I'm chilling. Like, we all.
And why does he think he can't compete with unemployment? Because unemployment is not a lot.
It's not a lot of money.
It's really not. And it's like, yeah, they can get by staying home and they can be comfortable, pay their bills, and stay safe. They absolutely should do that until the pandemic is over. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
And you know what? People not coming back to work for you, maybe it's because you're an asshole.
Maybe.
You thought about that? Maybe you're no fun to be around. Maybe you're a little handsy. Maybe you're a micromanager. Maybe. But you're blaming unemployment. And it's like, bruh, see, this is my issue with people, particularly like the guy in this segment, because he's the type of person that will vote Republican whether he supports Trump or not, he will vote Republican because, you know, he's a small business owner and he feels like somehow the tax code is for him. Which, joke's on you, sweetie. You're not Amazon. You're not Apple. Papa John's will crush you if they can, you know? So it's like y'all voted for most of this stuff. You were okay with not getting any of these handouts. But the truth is, why didn't you argue for them to send you enough money to keep your business open while you sat home? I mean, why do you have to, because you want to get up and go to work, everybody else got to get up and go to work?
Yeah.
You, sir, are kind of an asshole. And you might want to check some things. Like, but it's the entitlement for me. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, they wanted folks to come back to work as if everything was everything. Like everything was right back to normal. And it's not. It's just not. And so like say for instance, like in the position that I'm in, right? So last year, around this time, my job was paying us to stay the fuck at home. Right? We didn't get overtime. We weren't making bonus money, but we were making our wages, like our straight wages, to stay home. Right? We were still getting paid to be at the crib. And it was there, and this is why I'm talking about like the mentality that a lot of like people who aren't business owners or people who aren't necessarily like restaurateurs or whatever else. Like you had guys who were talking about like people who were like we had guys who were complaining about folks who were collecting the unemployment and staying at home and not getting back to work. And I'm like, man, if the job told you that you can make the same amount of money sitting your ass at home and not being out here, you know, goddamn well your ass will be at the crib. You ain't out here because you really want to be. You out here because of the money you could potentially make. But if you could potentially make this shit sitting your ass at home, guess where your ass will be at? How dare you then look at somebody who has less than you at this particular point sometimes, and then like look at them as though like they are these niggas milking this shit, man. Like these motherfuckers getting stimulus checks, $1,500, man. They getting all this motherfucking unemployment. They don't want to go back to work, nigga. I'm out here like, okay, and you not hurting, you not asking, you're not really in a real dire situation unless you're just mismanaging your shit. But like to be mad at folks who have less than you because they don't necessarily want to just jump back out here and serve you again, it's crazy as hell, man. There's a lot of it just kind of speaks to like an entitlement mentality that a lot of Americans, have concerning not only like people who they deem beneath them, but also like just the attitude that we have about getting back to normal, not necessarily acknowledging all of this shit that's like kind of keeping us from getting there in the first place, right?
Like, I'm tired of this whole getting back to normal, and we're not going to sit around and act like we didn't just go through this shit. I'm not with none of that shit for real. At all. Like, we were just in a pandemic. Over 600,000 people died. I forget what the number is.
Not only that, we're still in the pandemic.
We're still in the fucking pandemic. It's still not over. It's still not over. And now we see what's happening in India.
Yeah.
We see what's happening in other rural towns where COVID has wiped out small populations of people. And my whole thing is, I think, like I said, we need a whole national day of like rest. Like everybody gets 6 months off. And go do whatever the fuck you want. Like, no, seriously. Everybody's earned 6 months of just like, yeah, go do what you need to do.
Man, listen.
And we get a check. Just miraculously get a fucking check from somewhere. I don't care. Everyone's bills get paid. Personally, I don't think we should be paying utilities like water and electricity. We have the sun. We can solarize everything. We shouldn't be paying for this shit. I just think society is stupid and we just need to really burn it all down and just figure out a new way totally from scratch, because none of the things that we have already work for us anyway. So like, let's just go ahead and do it. Like, I'm sorry, but no. National 6 month vacation.
I love you, Cook, but Cook just like talked me out of a job. So the views expressed by Cook said that.
No, we're still going to need pipe fitters for infrastructure. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. We can always transfer your skills somewhere else. Like, I'm not saying that. You know, absolutely not. Like, honey, you can work like for the railroad. Like, we can put you other places with your skill set.
We gotta find some place up for you, man, Spann to work. That's all it is. That's all
Listen, but at the end of the day,
I got transferable skills. That's what it is. You know,
listen, marketable skills. And keep it 100. You don't got to go in them funky ass houses all day no more.
Oh, yeah, I did tell you about them houses.
Listen, you always got a story about somebody's house and how dirty it is and how you are mortified. So all I'm saying is, I see it as a win-win. And then you don't have to pay an electric bill if you're getting your life over.
You know what, man? You know what? You know what? I think you on to something, Cook. I think you on to something.
This is why I'm here. This is why I have a microphone. This is it. This is it. It's all happening.
Now, we're talking about the whole thing about people going back to work and everything, right? Now, of course, like we're still talking about Michigan. Michigan, like low key, is like the Mississippi of the North. Like I'm finding out more and more about this every day because, like, when you think about outside of Detroit, outside of Dearborn, outside of maybe Saginaw, Grand Rapids, places like that, like you got like a whole bunch of like real conservative, red Republican sort of areas and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here in Michigan, because of the sentiment that was expressed by like this particular business owner and those people like him, the state of Michigan right now, the legislature is considering whether or not to give people who are currently receiving unemployment $1,000 to find themselves some work. Yeah.
Ooh, $1,000 when a one bedroom in your city is already $1,200. Ooh.
It's a whole thing. So we get this story here. Is there video attached to this? There's video with this. Let me go ahead and pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with your man. Let me do this here. Screen share. Let's do that. And let's do this here. Yeah, $1,000. Give unemployed $1,000 if they find a job. Oh shit, there's not a video attached to it. I'll be damned. That thing said it had a video.
No.
So anyway, we're going to read the story here. This comes out of clickondetroit.com. It says, unemployed people who find a job will get $1,000. It's part of a $12.7 billion proposed COVID-19 relief spending plan that... Wait. In proposed COVID-19 relief spending that began advancing the state legislature on Wednesday. The return to work grants would cover 400,000 residents, nearly half of the 839,000 receiving jobless benefits. The Michigan Chamber of Commerce said the incentive would help businesses find desperately needed workers who, due to supplemental federal aid, can get $652 a week in unemployment, the equivalent of more than $34,000 a year. The federal government has created a situation where it is in someone's better financial interest to stay on unemployment than it is to take that next job. And that's unfortunate, said Wendy Block, Vice President of Business Advocacy and Member Engagement. I'm going to just say right now, Wendy Block, if y'all paid motherfuckers more money, if y'all paid motherfuckers more money, unemployment wouldn't be so goddamn appealing. It just wouldn't. Why can't they get this? It's not rocket science, man. It's not. It says the federal government. The provision is included in supplemental budget bills that the Republican-led House Appropriations Committee approved on party lines Wednesday, or primed for committee passage Thursday, but are a ways off from being enacted since there is no deal with Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer. But all $1 billion in funding would come from federal coronavirus packages that were approved in March and December. Republican Thomas Albert of Lowell, who chairs the panel, said if the $1,000 payments entice even 10 to 20% of those unemployed back to the workforce, that'd be a material difference in the state. I've already said it. If these businesses were paying people more fucking money, unemployment wouldn't be so goddamn appealing. That's just like the bottom line of it. Like, I don't understand why they don't see why these people aren't just clamoring to come back to work for less money and deal with not only that being like with less money, but dealing with people, because people ain't shit.
They ain't.
People ain't shit. And so like now, not only am I like making less money, but I'm also putting my health at risk because people don't even want to follow the fucking rules that we have in place now. But you want me to get back out there, because, these employers like, man, we need these workers. Like, yeah, are you going to pay these workers? Just pay them what they worth. Like that's
Pay them so they can, take care of their kids and do things that they need to without it being an absolute struggle.
it's crazy. But that has been that's been our news, man. But y'all know what time it is.
What in blue blazes is going on out here?
This nigga just say blue blazes.
All right, now here in Blue Blazes, we got this one story here. This comes out of Australia. All right, now Cook, let me ask you a question. Are you a fan of gender reveal parties?
I mean, I don't know.
No.
Only time I'm not a fan is when the parents are clearly sexist.
Well, you probably wouldn't be a fan of this one. So, like gender reveal parties, like listen, like I remember like when it kind of first kind of became a thing, it was kind of cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, we thought I had sex with our baby, you know what I'm saying? And then like, with all things though, people there becomes a group of folks who just take things too far. Then you got motherfuckers who are blowing shit up. You got people who
starting forest fires,
like that. All for the whole idea of finding out what the gender of their baby is, right?
My baby has a penis.
Right. So check this out. In Australia, there was a father, and actually there was a family who were doing a gender reveal party, and the father at this gender reveal party, once he found out the gender of this child, expressed extreme motherfucking disappointment at what the results were.
Oh boy.
Can you guess what the sex of the child was?
A girl.
Of course it was a girl. So we get this story.
God forbid.
This comes out of Newsweek. And it says, find out the sex of your child, your unborn child, and it's an exciting moment for any prospective parent. In recent times, many that choose to learn whether their baby will be a boy or a girl prior to the birth elect to do so with a gender reveal party. This modern phenomenon, a social media trend, involves parents finding out their baby's sex when either the color blue for male or pink for female appears. The color reveal has been done in many creative ways. It could be by cutting into a cake, firing a confetti cannon, or in the case of a recent viral video, popping a balloon. Typically, parents are generally ecstatic, whatever the outcome, but for one Australian father, the disappointment when he realized he was having a daughter was clear to see. So there's video. There's video. Let me go ahead and pull this video. Let's see what this dad is. How big of a tantrum this dad gave everybody. Let me pull that up. Here we. Oh, it's only 41 seconds, so yeah, we could play that. Here we go. Let's see what he's talking about. Is this bad? Oh, yeah, that's like.
Okay, I was about to say there's something.
But that wasn't it though. That looks like the start of a fucking forest fire. Like that wasn't it. Fire. There's a fucking fire. Fucking forest fire. That wasn't it.
That was like your standard forest fire. But yeah, no, they cause forest fires.
Okay, so that wasn't the video I was looking for.
Start packing up.
Start packing up. Yep. Okay, so that wasn't it. Let's see. They did have the video, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be goddamn. They had a video, but it's no longer here. Here it is. It was on TikTok. Okay. It was on TikTok. Let me pull that back up. I'm sorry, guys. But let me pull that back up. They pulled a TikTok video.
Shoot.
Shout out to social media, like propping up fucking mainstream media, though.
That's exactly what
they're
doing.
Oh shit! Damn screen whip. Hold on a second. white-haired
see it.
balloon. You can't see it? Okay, let me...
No, I think the thing scrolled. You gotta scroll back.
Hold on, let me... Can you see it now? I'm looking at a black box that says math.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
There we go.
Hey, what the fuck, man?
If I saw that growing up, I'd probably be like, "Fuck you too, Dad."
Like yeah, my thing is
you
this.
too.
My thing is this, man. Like, please don't show this baby her daddy being mad, her very motherfucking existence.
And you know somebody's gonna show it to her because you know they're gonna think it's funny.
Yeah, please don't show this baby that shit. Because, like, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Like, and I was thinking about this. Like, me and you are old enough to know, like, a life beyond social media. Before social media was really a thing. Many of our fuck-ups happened before social media was really a thing. Thank God, right? But also, we're living in a time now where, like, a lot of these kids have social media presences before they're ever fucking born. Here's an example of that right there. This child has not even has breathed life on its own. And yet we get a video of her dad like, man, it's a fucking girl. God damn it. You know? Like, please don't show this baby that her daddy fucking just resented her off top. Don't show her this, please. Going forward, like somebody like, well, it's out on the internet now. She's gonna see it eventually.
Yeah, somebody gonna show it to her because they don't think it's funny.
That's
what people do.
That's what people do. But yeah, man, like also the gender reveal shit. It's weird to like gender reveal parties, despite the fact that the person who actually created gender reveal parties kind of is like, yo, man, y'all really should stop this shit. Right? The lady who started gender reveal parties like, I didn't realize it was gonna take off the way that it did, but y'all should probably stop. And people continue to do. It's like it's out there now, man. The fucking horse is out of the barn. People are gonna do what the fuck they gonna do, man. Social media is a thing. People live through it. You can't put that motherfucking toothpaste back in the tube. So
cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube.
You cannot. You cannot. So yeah, man, that's in Blue Blazers. Now another story that we got here in Blue Blazers has to do with one Cornel West.
That nigga still mad.
Cornel West still mad, man.
That nigga mad. Sorry.
This
mad ass motherfucker.
Nigga is still mad, bro.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. Niggas is a mess. Niggas wow. These niggas wow. Shawty, they wow.
This nigga is still mad. Every time Cornel West has to talk about like Barack Obama, I just kind of feel like, oh man, hey, it's always hate coming out of his mouth, man, when it concerns Barack Obama. Who knew that not inviting that nigga to the inaugural like parade or ball or whatever the fuck would have Cornel West mad at this nigga 12 years later? Like, who knew that? Who knew that, like, not inviting this nigga to the party would have him going off this long? But we get the story here. This comes out of yahoonews.com. And it says that Cornel West says that Obama didn't have the courage to fight racism, but Joe Biden does.
Bitch.
Yeah.
It's the backhanded compliments to the white man for me.
Yeah. So we read the story. Like I said, this comes out of yahoonews.com. It says that Obama had the symbols. He's brilliant. He's black. He's poised and so forth. But he didn't have the courage, West said. Dr. Cornel West is blasting former President Barack Obama yet again.
I can't wait for Barack to be like, get my dick out your mouth. I can't wait.
Listen, so I just finished reading Barack Obama's like last book, A Promised Land. I thought that he would probably address Tavis Smiley and Cornel West. Didn't give them. He paid them niggas dust in that book. Never, not even a
as he should
in that book. But it says Obama yet again by claiming he didn't have the courage to fight racism. Professor West appeared on CNN International Thursday and offered praise to President Joe Biden on his joint address to Congress. Despite a previous belief that Biden would be a neoliberal disaster, West has since changed his opinion, as has what's her name, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It says West saluted Biden for his plan to withdrawing troops from Afghanistan, tackling police reform, improving infrastructure, and signing the American Rescue Plan. He likened the 46th commander-in-chief to President Lyndon Johnson, who served as the nation's 36th leader. West declared that he would continue to put pressure on issues such as the conflict in Haiti and foreign policy, but overall, Biden has surprised him and done more than Obama.
Where the fuck was these niggas when Trump was doing all this motherfucking bullshit he was doing? Where the fuck was your commentary for the last 4 goddamn years? Shut the fuck up, Mr. West. Sit down.
You need to shut the fuck up when grown folks is talking.
I'm sick and tired. I'll just be disgusted at niggas who do shit like that. Don't come out here giving, don't suck the white man dick because you pissed off at a nigga and shit. How is that cool? How is that cool that you want to now be, buddy and say nice things to Joe Biden? Joe Biden don't give a fuck about you either. I bet you Joe Biden ride for Barack before he ride for your monkey ass, Cornel.
The whole time.
Go raise your baby.
The whole time Donald Trump was in office, Cornel West.
Tavis lost the PBS for sexual harassment, using his position at his show to fuck bitches because he's whack. Okay? That's what Tavis was fucking up to, having to pay back millions of dollars because he breached contract. Because they had to fire his ass because he couldn't keep his dick in his pants. Because he an ugly, crusty nigga who don't get pussy on a regular. So he gotta go to work to fuck. And you know who the fuck you are when you that type of nigga and shit. Gotta go to work to get ass and shit. Because you're ugly any other goddamn time. Child. Fuck these niggas, man. Fuck them.
Oh man, cook with the fire.
And he and Cornel West need to go somewhere and raise his biracial baby under the age of 10 that he got, that he don't really be claiming like that and shit. Go raise that little heifer so she don't come out acting simple in the future, talking crazy and shit. Please and thank you, sir.
I kind of feel like when Donald Trump was president,
them niggas ain't say shit.
Cornel West.
Quiet as mouth, pissing on cotton. Excuse me, I'm sure.
Cornel West was out here like this,
Oh, that was different.
That was different. It was different.
Oh, it was different then.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. One of the things I think is like blatantly obvious about the fact that like Joe Biden is actually able to kind of go out here and address these things in the ways in which he's able to address them.
Because he's a white man.
Because of the fact that he's a goddamn white man.
Period.
Right? There were things that like Barack Obama could not even directly address,
indirectly
address was because he was a black man. When when that thing happened with
the Gates, the beer gate.
When Henry Louis Gates had that thing happen between him and the Cambridge police and everything, and Barack Obama had that whole like beer summit and shit. Like there was a few black people who were disappointed in Obama for even entertaining that, right? Mm-hmm. But that was because Barack Obama had to also recognize that like the part of the reason why I'm even here is because some of these white folks that y'all don't even fuck with, right? Mm. So I can't be out here as his activist in the ways in which y'all think I should be out here as an activist.
He didn't even say he was going to be an activist either.
He never campaigned that way. He never governed that way and everything, right? Also, think about what happened when Barack Obama said that Trayvon Martin could have been my son. If I had a son, he would have looked like Trayvon Martin. And how crazily the right wing decided to attack Barack Obama for politicizing this event, like, which is like, kind of crazy in and of itself, but politicizing that event and how they reacted to that. He didn't say anything that was very controversial. Like, yeah, if Barack Obama had a son, if he and Michelle had a son, very possible that his son maybe would have had the same complexion, would have had the same kind of like physical
hair
makeup,
texture,
hair texture, the whole thing.
Hype bill. Mm-hmm.
They used that to say that Barack Obama wasn't supportive enough of the law enforcement in this nation. So the fact that Cornel West would get out here like, well, Joe Biden is surprising me by some of the ways in which he's governing right now, but he's got a lot more courage than Barack Obama because he's out here.
Shut the fuck.
He doesn't have the courage, bro. Like he has
the cover and privilege.
That's it. He's a white
and that's the thing, Cornel. He's supposed to be the orator and leader of Black thought, but you're being very rudimentary in your assessment of Joe Biden. And it's because you're being a petty whore on top of all of this. It's because you being a petty whore.
It's mostly because he's being petty, but
just being a whore.
That too, but
fucking whore,
man. Cornel West said Barack Obama didn't have the courage while Joe Biden does.
I'm sick of all them niggas.
Yeah,
because like when I read that story about Tavis and how he was having them women sleep with him to be on the show and they everything, and that's what they had to do and shit. Like, this nigga's a whole ass predator, no different than motherfucking R. Kelly. And I would politely like to remind everybody of that shit. Don't mention no motherfucking Tavis Smiley and me. Shit, he in the same vein as Russell, truth be told.
Yeah.
That's what y'all was doing and shit with y'all positions and shit, making beige babies and sexually harassing people, and I want y'all to shut the fuck up. Because I don't got nothing nice to say about you.
There you go. That's in Blue Blazers. Another story that we got here in Blue Blazers, right? So we were talking about New Orleans shit earlier. And I'm fully vaccinated. Plan on going to New Orleans, having a good time. I miss the food more than anything else down in New Orleans. Miami has a school where the teachers at the school, I'm sorry, not even the teachers, but the owner of said school is actually barring said teachers at said school from getting the COVID-19 vaccination because she thinks the COVID vaccination will actually affect the students' menstrual cycles. Yeah. This is crazy. This is nuts. And we got video. So let me go ahead and pull this up so y'all can watch with your mans. Hold on a second while I do my thing. And there we go. Share that tab right there. Let's see what they're talking about in Miami, Florida, man.
A private school that prides itself on wellness is under fire tonight for spreading misinformation about the coronavirus vaccine, saying it will isolate staff who get the vaccine.
Well, the school thinks that those who get vaccinated could be harming those who don't. NBC6 reporter Tony Pippertone is live near Wynwood outside Centner Academy.
My man shaking his damn head before he can even say anything.
Yeah, let's just get this out of the way. There is no scientific evidence from any credible source that the vaccinated can transmit harmful effects to children or the unvaccinated or anyone else. But that fringe internet chatter is one reason the policy at this private school has changed, turning public health science on its head. Anti-vaccine commentary can be found on social media of the school co-founder, Lila Centner. Now it's informing school policy. As she says, without evidence, it appears that those who have received the injections may be transmitting something from their bodies to those with whom they come into contact. I asked the school's director of functional movement or phys ed teacher, where is that coming from?
Again, that's anecdotal evidence has been.
I didn't see it.
It's all over social media.
But that doesn't make it
real. It doesn't make it real. No, absolutely. It doesn't make it real, but it doesn't make it false.
But it does make bad policy, says the head of Miami-Dade's teachers union.
When we see this erroneous this misinformation that's out there, how egregious they are in how they treat their faculty, and what concepts are being taught in the school. These are things that are very alarming to all of us.
Hills rejects criticism, including from parents we spoke to, that the school policy is, as one said, insane.
We're not anti-vaxxers. It's such a it's a buzzword. We're not.
Pretty much are.
We're in favor of safe vaccines.
Of course, government agencies across the world have found them safe and effective, but Centner Academy has its doubts.
We have not fired anybody, nor are we planning to fire anybody due to being taking the ejection or not.
But he said they will be socially distanced from children and others. And there are about 185 children at this campus here near Wynwood. At a preschool up in the design district, there were about 40 children there when it was last inspected, without any problems, by the way, a few months ago. And there are about 40 teachers here and some staff as well up at the design district. So this does affect a lot of people. The parents we talked to would not appear on camera. They were very critical of the place and of this idea that I heard one of them called insane. Reporting live in Miami, Tony Pipitone, NBC6 News.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the shout out to the parents who like, this is fucking insane. But also,
thank you. I would have been like, I'm taking my child out of here now. But you saw how fast that man brought his goofy ass outside to do that goddamn damage control. We don't know. And it was like, baby, you're making it worse. Just shut up. Just shut up.
I was gonna say, was he doing damage control? It sounded like he was like kind of buying into the whole bullshit. And I wonder how much of that was he was buying into the bullshit, or he was just like, yo, I'm just trying to keep my gig, man. Like this chick is nuts. I'm a like it was a gym teacher.
You know,
they didn't have the science teacher out there. They had the gym teacher out there, not the science teacher.
This is, you know how like when you watch shows like The Walking Dead and they talk about, like you see these fringe groups that of people who believe this crazy weird shit, and like they believe if they eat the flesh of people they capture, then that'll protect them and they won't become a zombie, blah, blah, blah. This is how all that shit starts.
Yeah.
This is how that shit starts. Like if the zombie apocalypse were to break out right now, these motherfuckers would be out there getting bit on purpose, thinking that they're causing herd immunity and it's safe and they're gonna be fine.
Well, we gotta get the virus to get the herd immunity. I mean, vaccines, no. Getting the virus, absolutely. We gotta get the fucking virus, man. That's how you get the herd immunity. You gotta get the virus, man. We gotta get out there and get it. It's like chicken pox, man. We gotta send our kids out there. Send the kids out there so they can get the chicken pox. Play with the kid with the chicken pox so we don't get the chicken pox. Fuck the goddamn vaccine, man. Like, fuck it.
I would absolutely fight that man if I were a parent. And I would unenroll my child out of that school. My child would be unenrolled out of that school so fast.
That's the follow-up story that we need to see whether or not they actually decided to pull those kids out of that school. Because I want to know how many parents decided like, yo, this motherfuckers are crazy. Like,
enough to call the news.
I hope so. But we got another story here. This happened here in the Detroit area. I'm sorry.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry, y'all. But so there was a fight at the Detroit Metro Airport.
Sorry.
Like a brawl. Like a full on.
Like a spirit brawl? Or...
See, hold on.
When you say brawl, like you talk about like the Miami section of the airport.
You even have to say what airline, yo. Tell me you flying Spirit without telling me you flying Spirit.
I'll fly Spirit because I know how to protect myself, okay? Y'all not gonna punk me in the motherfucking line, all right?
Oh my God, yo.
I do fly Spirit though, and I pay extra for the big seat. I'm not ashamed. I'm sorry, Spirit is all right with me. Ain't nobody ever broke bad with me in Spirit. So
tell me you flying Spirit without telling me you flying Spirit, yo.
I mean, if I got to go out, mid-air, then it's just as it is. That's how you fly Spirit.
That is fucking hilarious that you knew that without me having to say any goddamn thing about Spirit. But yes.
Who else gonna fight at the gate at an airport? But some Spirit passengers.
It was Spirit passengers. So let me can you guys see that? Did I have a video pulled up? Okay, yeah, it's pulled up. Check this out.
The North Terminal inside 2 passengers in some kind of altercation. A police report was taken. It doesn't quite compare to what we're about to see. 2 weeks ago, 2 passengers in an all-out brawl. They, of course, garnered quite an audience, and one happened to be recording. Take a look.
Oh, damn! God damn!
And that happened here.
Wow, and no one's stopping it?
Earlier
Hell
this
no.
week, dates down from a TSA security checkpoint, a brawl breaks out outside of a Spirit Airlines gate.
Did you say outside the Spirit?
Yeah.
That's why. Hey, that is a linebacker. I feel like he should have picked somebody his own size.
Hey.
A spokesperson for Detroit Metro
That
Airport.
he whooped that ass.
Board of flight turned into a fight once they got off.
We're too grown to be outside acting like this and falling and rolling around the ground. People got kids.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You don't know what happened.
The video goes on for about a minute before passengers break
He want no more.
responded.
He wore that white man out.
Reported for assault, but the spokesperson we talked to didn't say who he was in the video.
I know their job is pretty tough. I've done security before too, but you know, somebody should have been there trying to break it up, trying to keep the peace. Something.
It's the second time this year chaos captured on video at the North Terminal.
Oh my God.
In January, Spirit Airlines passengers attacked employees, upset trying to verify their bag size. 2 employees were hurt. One.
Nah, okay, I got a story about that though, for real.
You let them out. You know what happens when you let people out of the house? They go crazy. They don't know how to act sometimes.
Shut up.
2 similar situations in Florida this month.
Spirit, bro. It's all in Spirit.
Cause Spirit be trying you though. Off the real shit.
Passengers started over an issue about standby seats.
No, I guess it's just happening everywhere recently. People are, since they're pent up in their house, they're coming out strong, I guess.
Videos we highlighted in that story all involve Spirit Airlines in one way or another. We reached out to the company and did not hear back in time for this story. Reporting live, Detroit Metro Airport, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
It's Jessica Dupnack, you getting all the motherfucking hood stories, bro. Like I remember when they had somebody got shot downtown while they were actually like doing the story. She like, oh shit, like live on the air and shit. Like they sent Jessica for all the fucking bullshit stories. But yo man, so like. In Fort Lauderdale, niggas is fighting the terminal at Spirit. Here in Detroit, with
It's always them Florida niggas too. I told you it'd be that Miami-Dade terminal.
I'm saying, I've never flown Spirit. I will never fly Spirit.
Oh, it's a gas. It's a key. It's a key. It's so fun. I love it.
I'm straight. I'm so straight, man. I will buy like, nah, man. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Can't be me. Couldn't be me.
I like Spirit. I don't got no problems. I'm definitely. Well, I got some. Well, I have flight credit with Spirit because I had to cancel my flights pre-COVID. But I'm gonna be on Spirit. But no, Spirit do be getting their employees fucked up with that damn bag policy because they be pulling you out of line and then hitting you with an extra charge and shit.
Educators, what is the bag policy on Spirit?
Like they do a thing like where you pay to check a bag, but now they got it where now you got to do it by size, and they eyeball your bag like, oh no, you violated size, and they pull you out of line to charge you for that bag. And yeah, so for some people, oh yeah, they're gonna have an attitude. For me, I was like, bitch, you lucky I got money, you know what I'm saying, and I can afford to go where I'm going, so this little extra $40 you try and hit me with or whatever, because they nickel and dime you. You got to pay for your seat when you pick your seat. So like when you pay for your flight and you say, okay, I want to sit in seat B12 or whatever, they have it by price. So it's an $8 seat, and the closer you get to first class, then it's like up to $20 to $40 depending on like, but it's a big seat, and that's all you're doing is paying for the big seat. Okay. It's really comfortable too, like off the bullshit. I mean, plus it's Spirit, you kind of bought it, but they nickel and dime you with the price of everything is what they're starting to put in those excess charges. And it's supposed to be a no frills flight anyway. So it's just like some of their practices, it catch people off guard, and they cut you out of the terminal. And then some Spirit employees they don't know how to act their goddamn self. So it's gonna be some in the mix. I believe it. Whatever.
I remember, like, as a former like airline industry worker and shit, I used to work the ramp for like both of these airlines no longer exist. American Transair and Masaba Airlines, which was like a regional airline for like Northwest Airlines before they got with Delta. Like a lot of these places, man, I remember a time before 9/11, dating myself, but I remember a time before 9/11, man, with like baggage fees, they weren't charging baggage fees. Like, you used to actually get a meal on your flight.
Yep.
You used to actually get a pillow. You used to actually get a blanket on your flight.
The first time I had chicken cordon bleu was on the airplane.
Yeah, like these were things that like you used to just get as a part of your flight experience, and now after 9/11, I remember a lot of airlines like talking about how we need to do these fees and things in order for us to like kind of get some sort of or in order for us to survive because less people are flying. It's been 20 fucking years since 9/11. Those fees haven't gone any goddamn where. You know what I'm saying? So like they not only have they not they've gotten the fees as like we've become used to paying these fucking fees, but now they've incorporated into so like with an airline like Spirit where they're nickel and dime, like you can go from here, you can go to Detroit from Miami for like $55, and niggas like, oh yeah, for real, and then they're like, yo, but your bag also gonna cost you like $65 in order for so
you're paying a whole other ticket for your bag,
so
after
it's like
a while.
They figure out a way to kind of like nickel and dime folks, and it gets you by, of course, like I said, giving you those very low fucking airfare tickets and whatnot. But like with Spirit, I never forget. Like I put my brother on a flight to Las Vegas from Spirit, and he was there. We got there maybe an hour and a half before his flight, and they decided to say that like he couldn't even check in for the flight because he was supposed to be there an hour before the flight. I'm like, yeah, but we here an hour and a half before his flight. Yeah, he can't make that flight. So you got to pay another $100 so he can get on the next flight.
Oh no!
Right now, that could have been a fight.
Yeah,
that could have been a fight. But luckily, I'm in a position where, like, all right, I'll eat this, but this some bullshit that y'all pulling. And real talk, that was one of the reasons why I said for myself, I will never fly fucking Spirit because of shit like that. I will never fly them motherfuckers. Like, ain't no way in hell. The only reason my brother got on that flight was because it was my brother and it wasn't me. I wasn't going my damn self. I would never fly Spirit. And then, like, these stories here were like people fighting in the motherfucking terminals, fighting the goddamn employees and shit. Like, yeah, man, that ain't my bag, man. I'm gonna leave y'all to that. Y'all can have that shit over there. I'll pay this little bit of extra to go ahead and fly Delta. I got a Sky Miles card. Like, my bags is free with the card. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got to pay that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I was watching a black lady sketch comedy and I was laughing because she said, "Ooh, girl, I didn't know Spirit flew to Fiji." Clowning her girlfriend because she just took Spirit. No, but I mean, it's good people on Spirit.
Nah, I can't fuck with them. I can't fuck with them, man. But shout out to those of you who can. Like, y'all keeping them in business. Despite
well, you need to get to where you going. But no, that black girl was like, of course, it's Spirit. What did you think? Like, everybody was like, girl, get this footage out of my face. Like,
hey, check this out. I just made the connection. Spirit is the Popeyes of the flight industry. Right?
No, Spirit is the church's chicken. The Popeyes industry. Of the air.
Because ain't nobody fucking with churches like that. You know what I'm saying?
Spirit is the Chick-fil-A then. Because motherfuckers get ignorant of the Chick-fil-A.
People fucking with Spirit. Like, you got a lot of niggas fucking with Spirit. Like, nigga, I can go to Miami for $17, nigga. Like, why the fuck wouldn't I go to Miami for $17? Like, shit. Spirit is the Popeyes of the flight industry.
All I know is I feel it in my shondo that white man was just talking cash shit to that black man. He had enough. That was a nigga who had enough.
He had to be on some MAGA shit, man. I swear to God, I feel it in my bones. He was on some MAGA shit, and that brother was like, man, you say one more motherfucking thing about Donald Trump, and I'm gonna blow your shit out.
He was probably kicking
they-
his chair
got
or doing
Detroit.
something real nasty and dirty in the back of that goddamn plane. And that
Man.
black man was fed up and he
He
beat
was
his
fed the
ass.
fuck up and beat the fuck out that little white man.
Whatever that white man did, I know he started that shit. I know he was not staying in his lane. I know he was antagonizing that black man. I could tell by the way that black man beat his ass that he was tired of his shit.
That man was with the nobody knows a couple I seen haymakers. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that he had his knee on that white man. And you know what? Nobody breaking it up. And when they did, that white man got up talking shit. So no.
Everybody was like, man, I mean, shit, he probably,
I wasn't breaking that shit up. I'd have walked right past that shit like, well, damn, they fighting, okay.
No. Not only that, like, that's a big nigga, man. I ain't getting in the middle of this shit over there. Like,
hell no.
Like, I'm straight, nigga. Like, I got shit to do today. I can't be out here catching concussions, nigga. Like, I'm straight, nigga. Like, they be all right. They got security. They paying them niggas. They ain't paying me. But that has been Blue Blazers, y'all.
What in blue blazes is going on out here?
Nigga just say Blue Blazers.
But y'all know what?
That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Yeah, that's enough of that shit. Proud to be an American. Time here at the Airport Podcast. And our first story here, proud to be an American, has to do with one Senator Tim Scott out of South Carolina. He's a senator out of South Carolina, Republican senator out of South Carolina. And this actually has a lot to do more so with Twitter. Because Twitter decided that they were going to block Uncle Tim from being a trending topic on their social media site after Tim Scott went on national television in a rebuttal to not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden, to say that America is not a racist country. Yeah,
I'm sick of the bullshit, but go ahead.
We get the story here. This comes out of yahoonews.com. It said that Twitter stepped in early Thursday morning to block the Uncle Tim label that began trending following Senator Tim Scott's
Uncle Tim
to President Biden's address to a joint session of Congress. A company spokesperson told National Review. A Twitter spokesperson that the platform decided to block a trending. Wait. That shit doesn't even look right. A Twitter spokesperson that the platform decided to block a trend calling Black Republican Tim Scott, who gave the GOP Uncle Tim. That's how they wrote that. That's exactly how they wrote that.
It looks horrible.
This is in line with our policies on trends specifically. We want trends to promote healthy conversation on Twitter. This means that at times we may not allow or may temporarily prevent content from appearing in trends until more context is available. This includes trends.
That's an Uncle Tom coon ass motherfucker. Yeah. Nigga. And he was about to get dragged the fuck through Twitter, and they stepped in to block it because they wanted their points and shit. Fuck the Republicans.
This includes trends that violate the Twitter rules. A Twitter spokesperson told National Review in an email. Scott called the trend upsetting and so disappointed on Thursday morning, saying that it shows the left are literally attacking the color of my skin. You cannot step down out of your lane, according to the liberal elite left, he continued. Twitter did not say when it made the decision to block the trend, which numerous commentators made note of late Wednesday and early Thursday morning. So
I don't like it. They
Here's
shouldn't have blocked it. They should have let that shit fly.
Here's the thing, right? The thing for me is this: is Tim Scott, I think at this particular point in time, is a willing participant in the marginalization of Black folks.
Yep.
I think also that they use the term "the left" euphemistically to talk about Black folks.
Yep.
Because it was largely Black folks.
Yep.
Who were called.
He snitched on his own people. He snitched to Twitter because niggas was roasting his ass like a coon. Like an Uncle Coon too. Fuck that nigga.
It was largely Black folks who were on Twitter calling him an Uncle Tom, Uncle Tim, who were calling him a coon, all of those things. they might not have even necessarily have any affinity for the left, so to speak, or democratic politics whatsoever. But they recognize a black man being super subservient to white folks. And it has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you're a Republican or conservative. You are being super subservient to white folks in this moment, and we calling you out on that. And so it was interesting how they framed this as it being a leftist thing, because the one thing that like Republicans tend to do is that they frame anything that disagrees with them as being leftist or socialist or any of the ists that they can kind of come up with. They try to like frame it in that vein. Most of the criticism that was largely leveled at Tim Scott had everything to do with his assertion
and proximity.
That this nation had no fucking, like, it wasn't a racist nation, right? But also the lack of self-awareness that Tim Scott had himself. And I don't even know if I can even say it's lack of self-awareness, because I believe he knows this. But the fact that Tim Scott is the only Republican of note, right? Anytime Republicans or conservatives want to bat back any sort of accusations of them being racist of any sort, they prop up the few black voices that like actually agree with them. Well, we can't be racist because Tim Scott agrees with us. Candace Owens agrees with us. What's that fucking Brandon Tatum? He agrees with us. We got plenty of black folks who agree with us. So like, racist, come the fuck on. Despite the fact that 90% of black folks don't even fuck with the black folks that y'all propping up. So, like, Twitter doing like the whole thing. I think Twitter was basically like, okay, so like this is yet another thing that conservatives can like kind of come at us with, right? Like, we allowed this thing with Tim Scott to kind of go for a little while, and I heard it was up to like maybe 12 hours or so. People were like kind of going in on Tim Scott. My thing was like, yeah, Uncle Tim, clever. I like that. I like how y'all did that. Kudos to y'all. Magnifique, right? Kudos to y'all for coming up with that. But also, like, the fact that right-wing, conservative-leaning, folks continue to use Tim Scott and people like Tim Scott to, like, kind of promote racist ideology, but also use black people to promote said racist ideology, and think that because they put this black person up, that it shields them from being called out for the racism that is clearly being exhibited here. That's my beef right there. Twitter being in the middle of that, I just think that Twitter was just like kind of succumbing to the idea that like, yo, right wing motherfuckers is mad at us. We can't look as though we playing to one side, so we gotta go ahead and ban it. I see why Twitter did it, but yeah, man, Tim Scott, man, fuck that dude, man. Fuck that dude like royally. Do you have any thoughts at all? Like,
fuck that nigga. Fuck him. Yeah. I hope he get a paper cut in his booty hole. Fuck him. For real, fuck him. Like, I've had it. I have zero bandwidth for any nigga that's out here pushing any type of Republican bullshit. Yeah. I have zero respect or bandwidth for real. I hope his big mama come out in her bonnet to talk shit about him on national TV. I hope that his whole family disowns him. I hope that every white woman that he meets from here on out smells like baloney to him. I
don't think his family is going to like disown him, only because, like, and here's why. I saw a story. I'm not sure how true the story is, but I did see a story where Tim Scott actually advocated to Donald Trump to pardon a cousin of his for a crime that he was incarcerated for.
Okay.
So they see Tim Scott as someone who has influence. Like, that's the other part about this, man. Like, you got somebody in the family who's a goddamn United States senator. Yeah, we might not necessarily fuck with his, politics or whatever. But
yeah, I see.
There's we could probably use cousin Tim to get some shit we want. We don't really fuck with him like that, but we could probably use, and he probably notices that too. But that's part of the reason why I don't necessarily believe that maybe his family would disown him. He's at a point in he's in a political position and in an influence position where he's got the ear of some very powerful people. And for any black family to have the ear of some very powerful people that can like swing some shit your way, whether you fuck with that relative or not, you just might just be like, well, you know, man, I mean, I don't really fuck with you like that, but like, yo, man, so this little misdemeanor, man, can y'all wash that or what? You know? And he did advocate for a cousin to get pardoned by Donald Trump, and apparently Donald Trump granted that pardon. So
I mean, for that, cool, but still, fuck that nigga. You supported his policies.
It's fuck that nigga all day long.
You support, I mean, and I get it. I get that. But just the same, you supported his policies. I want to know what the cousin was in jail for because it was some white collar shit. Then nah.
Yeah, it's fuck that nigga all day long. But not only that. So the other part about this being,
but I'm glad his cousin Frito or whatever. But still,
the other part about this being proud to be an American is the fact that like Meghan McCain also saw that like, yo, we was going in on old Uncle Tim, and she had something to say about that shit on The View. Let me go ahead and pull this up so y'all can see exactly what the fuck I'm watching, and let's see what the fuck Meghan McCain has to say, because you know she always has something like profound, right? She always has something profound to say. So let's see what she's talking about. Let's see what she's on right now.
We're talking about President Biden's address to Congress last night and Senator Tim Scott's Republican response. Megan, what did you think when you heard both evening speeches last night?
Well, candidly, Whoopi, I was really disappointed in Biden's speech. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight into how Republicans think. There was a concern when President Biden was elected that despite his almost 40-year career in Congress as a centrist, that he would govern as a progressive, that he was sort of this Trojan horse for progressive policies. I had faith he wouldn't be that. Seeing what he said last night, that faith has gone completely out the window. This is by far the most progressive speech of any modern president, I think, since LBJ. The answer to every single problem in the United States of America is to write a check and bankrupt my generation in the process. And if you don't believe me, because I'm conservative, believe the New York Times. They said, quote, Biden, a lifelong centrist, has moved leftward and moved the biggest expansion of American government in decades. And he's getting praise from people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think that he is showing himself to be someone who I think there's questions if he's going to run for president again coming up because of his age. And I think there was an assumption that maybe Kamala will just take his place and run instead. And I think he is showing he's going to make his mark and be the most progressive president of my lifetime. And it is very disappointing to the people who had faith in him for running as a centrist. In regards to Senator Tim Scott, I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's a bright future of the Republican Party. He told a story about growing up in poverty and having to move in with his grandmother and having 3 family members live in one room, and his uncle pretending to read the newspaper to show a good example, even though we found out he was illiterate. He went on to explain policy reasons why he's a Republican. And in response, he was trending on Twitter being called Uncle Tom and Uncle Tim, which many Americans consider a racial slur. So it's okay to be racist
Jesus Christ.
towards black men as long as they are Republicans. I'm disgusted by the response to him. Hit him on policy if you have policy problems with him. But the way he is being talked about, the way he is being disrespected, don't talk to me about microaggressions with race in this country. Don't talk to me about the problems we have in this country with racism when it's okay to speak and treat a black man this way who happens to be the most famous Republican black senator in the country. It's okay.
He's the only black senator Republican.
And I'm just like, girl, you're really trying to whip up an issue here where there is
the only fucking one, man. Like the only one. Like, come the fuck on. Like,
I'm just sick.
I'm gonna let it finish. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let it finish.
No, I just was sick of hearing her.
To let it trend for 11 hours, which is supposed to be against their policies and standards. It's okay to let it trend against Senator Scott. I don't believe it would have happened if he was a Democrat. And it is so hurt me, disgusted me, literally ruined my night and ruined my morning because of it. I'm so grossed out by the entire thing. And to Senator Scott, there's so many of you, us that support and love you and think you did a fantastic job last night. And he's the one that should be running for president, not Nikki Haley.
Yeah. So listen.
That part.
So here's the thing, right? So, and this is part of the reason why I was talking about this. Like, and framing it the way I was framing it is that like when you start seeing Republicans always framing shit as the left, right? Like the left are coming at like Tim Scott, and the left is coming at people like Candace Owens. It's as if they're using the left as a euphemism for black people, because it was black people who had the most vociferous fucking response to Tim Scott. Black people. It wasn't like the left as a whole. It was black people like, nigga, what? America ain't what? Are you fucking
He
serious?
lost me with that shit when he said that shit. And then they gonna get Kamala to repeat that shit. My thing is like, I would have had way more respect for her if she had just said yes, even with me sitting here addressing you as the vice president of the United States of America. It's still a racist country because people are still being gunned down by the police, and it still takes us years to prosecute it.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, Cook. Kamala wasn't saying the same shit that Tim Scott was saying.
She wasn't, but they really tried to throw up that little one piece.
They really did, and I saw
it was
Charlemagne. I saw Charlemagne say that shit on the Breakfast Club. I saw niggas sharing that shit on their fucking social media.
You know, niggas been waiting to go with her anyway.
They can't exactly. She wasn't saying the same shit that Tim Scott was saying. Tim Scott was absolving white people for the bullshit that they've been doing to black folks, and then gaslighting black folks on what Republican policies have been doing detrimentally to black folks. Kamala Harris, not only did Kamala Harris acknowledge the racist history that was going on with black folks here in America, but also talking about how white supremacy is a terroristic threat to America right now.
Right now.
So, like, for people,
they're the ones armed to the teeth, ready for war, right. At this point.
So for people to say like, look, well, Kamala was saying the same shit. They were not saying the same shit. They were not talking the same shit. And so for like I'm tripping out of like, yo. So here we have this lily white woman from Arizona who's upset that this black dude who's
got called a coon by his own people because that's what the fuck he is.
His own, like, yo, these are intra cultural discussions that we're having. See your fucking way out of this motherfucking conversation because it has absolutely nothing to do with your pasty white ass.
And it never will.
Has absolutely nothing to do with you, right? But the way in which they try to frame this shit as though this is the left. No, this is black folks coming at Tim Scott. Like, yo, nigga, are you out of your fucking mind right now? That's what it was. Black people coming together on social media saying like, this nigga is he got to be off his motherfucking rocker. They're like, I can't believe this nigga actually went on national TV and said this shit, because we understand that Tim Scott has like at this particular point embedded himself with the Republican Party, with the conservative ideology, but also Tim Scott is one of those kind of people like, yo, I've separated myself from, other black folks, right? I've separated myself from other black folks. And so because I've separated myself from other black folks and I have achieved some level of prominence, I have achieved some level of notoriety because I've done these things. Therefore, all of this shit these other black folks are talking about, y'all can disregard that shit because I've achieved, right? And Republicans tend to use people like a Tim Scott, tend to use people like a Caitlyn Jenner, because we're gonna talk about this shit here in a minute too.
Oh boy, okay, all right.
Tend to use these sorts of people to kind of shield themselves from any sort of criticism that comes from the marginalized groups that these people come from. Because we got this, well, shit, if Tim Scott says it's not racist, then goddamn it, it's not racist. Let's negate all the hundreds of millions of black folks who are like, yo, man, that's some bullshit, that's some racist shit. Because you got this one example of somebody who you can point to say that, like, yo, all of these things that these black folks, all of these things of the LGBTQ plus community are saying is bullshit, because I got this one example that I can point to like kind of like nullify all of that shit. So yeah, fuck Meghan McCain for this. Like, I was appalled. I couldn't understand. I couldn't believe like the left were really doing this shit to like Tim Scott, who's a rising star in the Republican Party. He's like really popular with the Republican. He's like a person of color, and like he's the only fucking one. There's a reason why y'all used him, and we know why. We know why. So, yeah, that's in blue. I'm sorry. Proud to be an American. Now, I just mentioned Caitlyn Jenner. And the reason why is because Caitlyn Jenner was asked whether or not it was fair if a transgender girl competed in like sports with cisgender girls, right?
And this is why I'm sick of her. But go ahead.
Yeah. So let me pull this down. Let's I need to escape that shit. Pull that shit off. Let's escape fucking Cindy. I'm sorry, Megan McCain. Oh, I don't have that story. Oh shit. Okay, so but I do have this. Okay, so we get this story here. This comes out of CBSNews.com. But the Caitlyn Jenner thing will kind of tie into this also. So, transgender sports fans becoming a conservative litmus test. And this is from CBS News. It says the battle for LGBTQ rights has entered a new front as conservatives mount widespread efforts to bar transgender girls from participating in school sports. With activists warning support for the policies will be a crucial test for Republicans poised to seek higher office in the coming years. Lawmakers in at least 25 states have proposed measures restricting transgender athletes from competing in school sports. And much like the debate several years ago over allowing transgender students to use the bathrooms and locker rooms that match their gender identity, the push to bar transgender athletes from girls and women's sports has emerged as the latest flashpoint in the culture wars. This has become a litmus test for Republicans and conservative voters. Terry Schilling, president of the American Principles Project, a conservative think tank, said of restricting transgender girls and women in athletics. It's an important victory for Republicans to achieve, and a base of conservative voters are going to look at politicians who portray this issue as not trustworthy. Idaho became the first to pass legislation barring transgender girls and women from participating in women's sports, but a federal judge halted enforcement of the measure. Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee have since enacted legislation barring transgender student athletes from joining female sports teams. But Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson on Monday vetoed a bill that would have gone further by banning gender-affirming medical treatments for transgender youth. The way in which the battle over the bans is playing out in South Dakota shows how politically fraught the issue could be for Republicans navigating their base, suburban voters, and potential economic repercussions. Governor Kristi Noem, a Republican expected to run for president in 2024, originally cheered on a bill approved by the legislature addressing transgender athletes, but she declined to sign it, citing concerns it would be swiftly blocked by the courts. Now, someone asked Caitlyn Jenner, who, when they were Bruce Jenner, was a decathlete athlete. I believe they won the Olympic gold medal for the decathlon. Mm-hmm. And Caitlyn Jenner came out to say that allowing trans women to participate in cisgender women's sports was presented an unfair advantage to the transgender athlete. So, I'm gonna get your thoughts on this here first, Cook, before I have anything to say on it.
So, as an African American, dark-skinned black woman who is a physical, who has an athletic build, and absolutely looked like Serena Williams growing up, and absolutely got misgendered by boys because I wasn't light skinned and thin. I really, really, really take umbrage with some of the discussions around transgender athletes and intersex athletes in competition. When I was training for track and field, I trained with the boys on my team. They strapped weights on me, and I had to run with them and do conditioning with them. The logic was they're bigger and stronger than me, and if I train with them, I'll be bigger and stronger too. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, and interestingly enough, it's funny because I have a Facebook friend, and I unfollowed her. I don't think I unfriended her, but I didn't unfollow her because she has a daughter who plays. Her kids play sports, and they both just happen to play basketball. And she's always ranting about transgender athletes in sports, as if it's taking away an opportunity from her daughter, or her daughter may not be able to compete. And I just disagree, because my thing is, like, in some of these instances, Some of these people making big deals about transgender athletes don't even have a transgender athlete signed up to play in their district or any other team. They may have already played against an intersex person and didn't even know it. Secondly, I don't give a good goddamn what you got going on down there. You step on that court, I'm going to beat that ass. Personally, that's just how I look at it. I ain't scary. So if you want to play ball, come play ball. I'm gonna beat you like I would beat anybody else. Your sex or gender makes me know, never mind. Boy, girl, they getting their ass beat. I'm outrunning you. I'm outworking you. I'm out training you. And I wouldn't even be worried about that. But I think with a lot of parents, it's just the transphobia, homophobia, just a lot of phobias. I think it's ridiculous that this is a non-issue. Once again, this is the type of non-issue that they keep putting up for people to nitpick and go back and forth about when it has zero bearing on anybody's life or the quality of their life. It's none of your business what anybody's got going on. If you mind your business, you'll be a lot more happier. And I think the kids can get out there and still play and get their life and still get their scholarships, if that's what you're worried about. So, I mean, it's disappointing, but yeah, this is the issue with the Republican Party. The only reason why you're embracing someone like Tim Scott or Caitlyn Jenner is because they're ready to stand up and push your fucked up ass agenda against people in their own communities that these policies you believe in will not benefit.
Yeah.
And for that, they coons, they sellouts, fuck them. I don't respect them. For why?
So,
no, good and goddamn well, she should be advocating for all the transgender people. But this whole one, she's still. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up because it's not gonna come out right.
Well, here's the thing, and I had a conversation. Well, not necessarily a conversation, but a back and forth with somebody on Facebook earlier today. And shout out to Hewell Perkins. Hewell Perkins, who is a like news anchor here in Detroit, follows your man Spann on Twitter. But Hewell Perkins posted a story on Facebook earlier today about as a matter of fact, he's posted a story about Caitlyn Jenner being opposed to trans athletes, participating in women's sports or girls' sports. And the thing to me is this, right? And I've said this on social media earlier this week, is that Republicans and conservatives are very good at presenting non-issues as a problem so that they can create legislation around said problem where an issue wasn't there to begin with. Right? And they use transgender people for one, because so few people know anybody who's actually trans. So they use these folks' ignorance around trans issues to kind of promote these bullshit, issues. Like they use these people to promote these bullshit issues so that they can push legislation. And because the trans community isn't necessarily like as powerful as a lot of folks would believe them to be, I'm like, well, shit, they can't really fight back because there's not a whole lot of them to begin with, right? So they would use trans people and they would use people's ignorance about trans people to, promote said legislation. It's in much the same way that like the bathroom bills came through a few years ago, right? Funny how we haven't really talked about like trans people using the bathroom over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. Right? That shit just kind of went away, right?
And you know what, really quickly, my other thing about trans issues is that it's the sexism for me. Because everybody was worried about a trans woman going into the bathroom with, their daughters. And, men were worried about trans women going into the bathroom with them, but I was like, you're not worried about trans men going into the bathroom stalls with your women and looking better than you and not coming back home, sir. Like, y'all, I just like how the sexism of it all just really doesn't, like, there are trans men out there, But y'all not crying about that. And even if you do actually listen to trans people talk about their experiences, one of the first things that trans men talk about is that how much easier their life got once they transitioned to man because of their proximity to masculinity.
Yeah, like niggas don't give a fuck about like
y'all really don't care. You really don't care. Like you don't.
Time when men going into the bathroom, we not speaking to each other. We don't know you any goddamn way. We're like, even if you at the urinal, you got your eyes up in the sky or something like that. You're not even trying to be like, you're not even trying to be seen as though you might be checking out another dude in the bathroom, right? But some kind of way, when it comes to trans women, we gotta protect our women. You know what I'm saying? Like the women, like never mind the fact that like, yo, what do you think trans women were going to the bathroom all this time before this became an issue, right? So the thing is with me is like, yo, they gin up all this animosity towards trans women in particular, only when it becomes a thing when they can actually try to make it an issue politically, when they can actually try to garner votes and everything else. This happened around the time that Donald Trump was, running for president. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. The last time we saw anything about trans people, it was around the time of, like, it was an election. It was an election year. 2021, 2022 was ramping up. You got midterm elections coming up. They're trying to use this as a wedge issue. It's not something that they really give a goddamn about. But if they can get people thinking that this is a problem, then they will continue to they will jam people up to believe that this is a problem. Not one of these legislators can name a young lady who was denied a scholarship, who was denied a regional championship or a sectional championship or a state championship because she competed against a trans woman or a trans girl. None of them can actually name any of those things when it comes to talking about girls or trans women participating in women's sports. But they want us to believe that, like, yo, this is a problem that we need to have solved. You don't believe that shit. This is a totally made up fucking issue by Republicans and conservatives. Totally made the fuck up. They don't care. But if they can get you upset enough about it, if they can get you thinking irrationally about it, then maybe when you go to the voting booth, you're thinking like, well, shit, man, my daughter might have to fight. She might have to run track against a boy because
trust me, if she's good, she'll win. What are you talking about?
But truthfully speaking, that's how they simplify a lot of this shit because we're talking about Americans, right? And when we're talking about Americans aren't necessarily sophisticated. We're very myopic people. We aren't necessarily like, we don't care about shit outside of the things that we care about with us. Very seldom do Americans really give a fuck about anything that has anything to do with somebody other than themselves. And so this is why Republicans are able to kind of play these issues up the way that they are, is because they know that Americans aren't sophisticated. They don't give a fuck about anything other than outside of themselves. And they play to that ignorance. And even the people who don't even fuck with Republicans like that buy into some of this bullshit. You know? So with Caitlyn Jenner coming out and talking about, well, I don't support boys or trans girls being able to compete in women's sports. It's the self-defeating sort of thing that, like, Republicans tend to do with black people or brown people and everything else. They will use a Caitlyn Jenner to promote this because they're like, well, shit, Caitlyn Jenner is transgender. You can't, if Caitlyn Jenner believes.
Whole time, ain't nobody gonna vote for that hoe, so she out there spewing that bullshit, and now it's out there. But because she was ready to do it, now it's gonna stick out there too.
But here's the rub, though. When Caitlyn Jenner was going through their transition, it wasn't the right that was championing Caitlyn Jenner being able to go through said transition.
It was the left.
It was the left. And so when you got Republicans telling you that, like, yo, so now the left is going to disown Caitlyn Jenner because she doesn't support and she doesn't think the same way that they do. It's like, no, y'all don't really fuck with her either. But y'all will use her to promote this ideology in much the same way that y'all will use someone like a Tim Scott to promote any legislation that is detrimental to black folks. that y'all would use Candace Owens that will promote legislation that is detrimental to black folks. Like, y'all will use them. Y'all don't give a fuck about their issues, but y'all will use them. And so, yeah, man, the fact that Republicans are like trying to use this and like using this as like their next litmus test, because the first their litmus test was how loyal you were to Donald Trump. This is the next portion of that. How how can we use this like transgender athletic issue to like become a wedge issue when it comes to voters? And because there's a lot of like, unfortunately, there's a lot of Democratic voters who are still ignorant to these issues as well. To use that to like kind of depress how much these folks will come to the polls and vote for candidates who will fight against this sort of bigotry as well. So yeah, man, that has been fucking proud to be an American.
That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Yeah, that's enough of that shit, but y'all know what time it is.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
All right. It's Champ of the Week time here at the Spann Report Podcast, man. And our champ of the week this week here at the Spann Report Podcast is a teacher. We don't highlight teachers enough here at the Spann Report, man. This guy here actually had the temerity to talk about why the teachers aren't necessarily being respected in the ways in which they should in a resignation speech that he gave to his school board here in Michigan. He's a now former teacher in the Grosse Pointe School District here in Michigan, and he actually he kind of went in on the school board. So let me go ahead and pull this video up because he was kind of giving them the business. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me.
He understood the assignment.
He understood the assignment. So let me go ahead and pull this video so you guys can watch right along with us. Check this out, y'all. As soon as this video loads.
Carol, I'm a teacher over North, and I live down in the park. Last year, I participated in a professional development session during our November Tea Day. Offered by Beaumont, we were strongly encouraged the topic was the triage after the event of a school shooting. During that session, I learned and even practiced on a dummy how to pack a bullet wound and apply a tourniquet to prevent blood loss in our students. I also, to my horror, learned that if my students were to get shot in the chest, I should leave them for dead and assist those who had a better chance of survival. Now, I find it interesting. The district sponsored that for us and trusts us, the teachers, who have no medical training in any capacity to be the first responders to our students' medical needs in the event of a school tragedy. Trust us to literally choose and decide who would live and die, while you don't even trust us with the educational decisions that are in the best interest of our students, the thing that we've been hired to do. The teachers in this district are experts in education. We've been highly trained through advanced degrees and years of experience to make the best educational decisions for our students. I have 10 years of experience, 2 postgraduate degrees in education. I'm a licensed K-12 administrator and a district level department chair. I'm more qualified to make educational decisions for our students, except for one person. Everybody here has less experience or actual knowledge of what life is like in our classrooms. Like you've done to my colleagues, you've disregarded my experience, my professionalism, and my expertise and reality, and substituted it with your fantasies. You're listening to them. They don't know what happens in our classrooms. They're not there, and neither are you. You sit up on this stage, which, by the way, I hope you enjoy the space you have here. This does not exist in our classroom. And you have after your meetings that you so appreciate and respect us. Well, I cry bullshit. You don't respect us. If you respected us, you'd listen to us. You don't appreciate us. If you did, you wouldn't make our jobs literally impossible to do. If you cared, you would pretend that you're listening, at least. I sent you an email months ago expressing my concern about our full face-to-face return, and I didn't get a single response from any of you, not one, not even a message received. I helped get many of you elected to this board, and you couldn't even be bothered to hit reply. If you actually respected me, my colleagues, you'd prove it with your actions. Instead, you'll make your vote tonight, basically a foregone conclusion, because you're trying to ram it through in a single meeting, and you'll get to the end of the meeting where you say you do respect us. Last time we were here, John told you that teachers were angry. You could probably tell that was true. He said, though, that it wasn't about any decisions at the board level. It was the situation. We're not angry about the situation. We can't control COVID. We're angry at you. We are angry at you. And angry is a nice way of putting it. You've done more damage to our students, our district, and our profession in the last 12 months than we've seen in the last decade. Keep going down this path, and I'll be surprised if our number one teachers even stick around. I know I'm not. I submitted my resignation to 389 last week, and I'm looking forward to doing something that's going to be valued and appreciated, not lied to and belittled. Listen to your teachers. We're number one in spite of this board, not because of it. If you trust us to plug a bullet wound, you should trust us with that.
That's 3 minutes.
Oh, bitch.
Need to leave before you start to listen.
Yes, so that teacher's name is Sean McCarroll, and
good for him.
Yo, shout out to Sean McCarroll, man, like for actually speaking truth to power. Because here's the thing, I know a lot of folks want their kids to go back to school. A lot of them,
I don't.
They want the kids to go back to school. They want everything to be back to normal, but they are totally ignoring the concern of the teachers and the administrators that have to deal with this, that have to be on the front lines of this. And he's already submitted his letter of resignation, but the fact that he went and spoke truth to power and let them know, man, like just kind of called them out on this shit. I appreciated that immensely, and for that, man, Sean McCarroll is a champ of the week this week here at the Spann Report podcast, man. But it is almost time for us to get on up out of here. But before we do, hey Cook, tell them how they can get in touch with you over at Highly Appropriate.
So I think the link is Spann Network / Highly Appropriate.
I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and let y'all know, because I forget. Cook is a part of the Spann Report Podcast Network. I told y'all we need to go ahead get her the chain, right? But Cook, you can find Cook over at the Spann Report Podcast Network. Her part of the website is www.spannreport.com / highly inappropriate, hosted by Cook Simmons. All right? We'll have that link in the show notes. Okay, so y'all can go ahead and fuck with the homie Cook as she's a part of the Spann Report Podcast Network. Also, you gotta give me a social media like links at least, man. I can't do that. That's yours.
So if you want to check me out on Instagram, of course, it's always Cook_Simmons. And then if you want to keep up with show information on Instagram, it is highly inappropriate, all one word, _ Spannet, SPANNET. That is Spannet.
Indeed. And we love to have Cook over here with us, man. Real talk. Can't wait for her to launch that first episode, which y'all should be getting very soon. Very fucking soon.
Yeah, we had fun. Very much had a good time.
We had a good time. We talked like two niggas that been like knowing each other for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like we just kicked it. We just kicked it.
Just kicking it or whatever. Not too heavy or whatever.
You know what I'm saying? We was just like, yo, man, we just chopping it up, man. Just chopping it up on a Saturday night. But so let me you know what? I forgot to do something, y'all. And I'm glad that I just remembered to do this before we got the fuck up out of here. And I would hate to get out of here before doing our listener feedback. We had an email, and I need to read this email before we get out of here. I need to do this email. I am so sorry. I am so motherfucking sorry. Your man Spann, things, I get distracted sometimes. But we got an email here. This email comes from Reggie. Shout out to the homie Reggie. Reggie writes in quite regularly. And Reggie writes in to say, Spann, let me tell you, I know you don't fancy yourself as a comedian or nothing like that, but bro, you funny as hell. That random thought about the guys who keep their dogs at their mom's crib, man, really? And the way you just turned into somebody's whole ass grandmother while telling the story. I was telling my wife,
baby, come get this pet. Come get him.
Yeah, I don't know what that dog down there. I ain't been down there that damn basement, baby. That's my son, dog. My son got that damn dog down there. I can't be down there, but I don't get that damn dog. Yeah, he says that shit had me rolling, bro.
Cause I know that grandma and that dog. I do.
Everybody knows that grandma and that dog. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that grandma and that. That's why I touched you like that, Red. That's why everybody knows him. It said that shit had me rolling, bro. And the other one about the carry-out containers. That's comedy, man. Stop selling yourself short. You're a funny guy. I'm just not a comedian though, man. Like, so when I first was doing the Spann report, like I tried to like make every fucking thing funny, and that's hard. That's just fucking hard, man. I would like let's go back to like at the beginning of this. When I was doing the Spann report, at the very beginning, I tried very hard to make my show sound much like similar to the Haterati radio show. Shout out to Dark Hater, Mr. Gates, for like, you know, even like putting your man's on with this whole shit, right? Because I didn't even know like what a podcast was, right? I respect him enough to do that. Like we don't talk, we don't really fuck with each other like now, but I respect him enough to do like to give him the kudos for that. And I used to try to make my show sound a hell of a lot like his. That shit is hard, bro. So like I never like try to step into like what a comedian is, or like that's just not who I am. Like if it comes off as funny, then cool. But I'm just not a comedian. Like I appreciate you though for finding your man Spann funny, because I have my moments, man. It ain't all the time, but I have my moments. He says, "Let me just say it. It's a shame that you don't get the same level of love as some of these other shows, dude. You're one of the few solo podcasts that I can listen to that can carry a show by yourself most times for more than an hour. And this last episode was just the latest example of why you stay in my regular rotation. Keep it up, man. Red." Listen, I appreciate that. But you know, if I was in it for like, okay, let me be honest. Let me be honest. There used to be a time where I was a bit resentful of some of the attention that some of these other podcasts would get. I ain't gonna lie to you. But truthfully speaking, I do this because I love doing it.
Real talk.
Right? So if you do this because you love doing it, then like, you know, like the attention, it would be great, but it's not why I'm doing. I do it because I genuinely love being able to get on this mic every week and just talk my shit. Like I told Cook this last week, like this shit is like kind of therapy for me. Like real talk. I just get on here and I just kind of talk my shit. So like if the attention comes in, great, but like y'all have to understand this also. I got a full-time job, man. Like this
you gotta love it. Like I already have a job.
This podcast shit is something that I do on the weekends. Like it's a hobby. It gives me an opportunity to kind of talk my shit, get some stuff off my chest. But the fact that there are other people who listen to me and like can kind of like relate to some of the things that I'm talking about while I'm on this mic, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like I just genuinely appreciate that. The fact that like I'm gonna tell you this right now. The only reason I even know Cook is because of this podcast. And I fucks with Cook. The only reason I know a lot of like, you know, like some of the podcasts that y'all think are like real big and shit is because of this podcast. Like I am grateful that this podcast and this space has given me like the opportunity to meet and like know some really fucking dope people. That's a reward for me. Right? That's a reward, dog. Like, so like success in podcasting is relative, right? You could have 1,000 listeners. That'd be great. But think about this though. Like if you had like a room of 200 people, like just like hanging on to every motherfucking word you said, and you was in the room with those folks, would you just discount those folks because it ain't 1,000 people? Nah, man, those are the people who fuck with you. So fuck with them in the same way. And that's how I approach this. Like those, like the people who fuck with the Spann Report podcast, man, I fuck with y'all. Y'all, like I love y'all. Like real talk, because y'all let me get on this mic every week and talk my shit and fuck with me because I'm on this mic talking my shit. So yeah, man. I don't resent those folks. I have genuine love for a lot of people who are doing it for the right reasons, man. The only people I really just kind of have side eyes for are the people who jump into this podcast shit because they think it's going to get them rich.
Like the first thing, how do I monetize? Like, bro,
right, like, all right, nigga.
You're not here. If you're not here because you want to be here, you're not going to get to the monetized phase.
Yeah, you're not.
That's kind of how it works.
You're not here for the right reasons, but for the people who are just doing it strictly off of the love and they are able to like kind of elevate to a point where they can like make some money off of this shit, then man, I love those folks because they in it for the right reasons, man. And so I appreciate you right there, Reggie, but hey man, the best way to help us here is like, yo man, I fuck with the Spann Report podcast and you should listen too. That's how you help us here. That's how you help us here. With the 5-star reviews and writing in all the whole shit. All of those things help, man. So thank you for the email. And Cook, appreciate you for being here with us on this particular episode. And y'all will be hearing from Cook on the Spann Report Podcast Network really fucking soon. Like ASAP, like real soon. Y'all don't really know how close it is, but it's real soon. But before we get out of here, let me remind y'all can hit us up here at the Spann Report Podcast Network. Hit our hotline up at area code 313-288-0485. It's area code 313-288-0485. Leave those voicemail messages. We'll play those messages here on the show and respond in kind. You can also email us here, just like Reggie did, at feedback@thespannreport.com. You can hit us up at feedback@thespannreport.com. Leave us those emails, and emails we're going to reply to here live on the show as well. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My name on both of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead, follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Hit us up with a 5-star review. 5-star review on iTunes and or Stitcher Radio. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get right here live on the show. We really appreciate everybody who goes about the business of doing that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Spann Report Podcast Network. Also, go to our website, www.thespannreport.com. You can go there, watch the replays of this podcast and other podcasts, but also you can listen to not only the Spann Report podcast, but the Beer and Chicken podcast, the Baywatch podcast, and the Highly Inappropriate podcast hosted by Cook Simmons at thespannreport.com. You can go to the website and just listen right there, baby. It's like it's set up like that, so y'all can just go ahead, just like boom, I'm on the website. And I get all the shows, like all the shows right here, like right there. Like you can do that at our at our website, and also copy yourself some merch from our store at TeePublic. Get yourself a T-shirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug or a mouse pad, even face mask, man, because we in COVID and shit, man. People wear some fashionable shit, and like our Spann Report shit is pretty fashionable. So go ahead and get you some stuff. But thank you guys for fucking with us for these 2 hours that we've been talking shit. Thank you so much, Cook, for joining me for tonight's episode, and we will talk to you guys again soon. Until next time, fam. Peace.
Peace. Thank